Good evening, depending on which part of the world you find yourself. Uh, Chief Drino, and I am live. I am going to address some rhetoric online on YouTube. So, it occurred to me that there is this video trending on YouTube. It's about an African woman disrespecting African Americans, and I have two sources here. I am going to address these videos live. One of which I have completely seen. I have interacted in a chat room. The comment section. I've left my comments and my take on the videos. And this is from redirecting. Okay. Um, we shall take that one first, and then we shall move on to the second source, which is from Philip Scott from the Advice Show TV. Okay, so we shall address that as well. I haven't seen much of Phil's take. I know he did a live show, but it's been a really busy day for me. I work full time, so I only YouTube is a hobby for me. So I like to educate. I like to break down the stereotypes, the ignorance, and just tear it out, tear it all up. We in 2018 we do not need ignorance. Okay, and I'm very quick to point out ignorance. So I know this is a very odd time to go live. It's about what's the time in the US at the moment? Quickly have a look. So those of you on the West Coast, it's almost 2:30 a.m. On the East Coast, it is 5:29. So yeah, you guys are on the East Coast. You guys are waking up. So let this not surprise you. You're waking up to Chief Drino's controversial topic for today, and I am going to smash this rhetoric into smithereens, and I'm going to really address this ignorance here. Okay, so there's been a lot of ignorance on the in the comment section on Sister Deborah's channel, redirecting, and one particularly from a woman that says that the Congolese woman looks basically she's trying to say the Congolese woman looks vile. She hates the look on her face, and she hates her face and hates everything about her, blah blah blah. But this woman commenting looks exactly like the Congolese woman. So I left a comment there and I said, hey, you do look like this woman. So what the hell are you talking about? Hi there, O'Shea. What's going on, brother? Welcome to my show. Thanks for joining in. Man, it's gonna be fire in here. It's really hot in here. The temperature dipped today, so we got some rain and cold weather coming yesterday, so it's a bit cool. But this topic is so controversial, I am going to address it, right? It's 2018 and there's still so much bickering going on between African Americans and Africans, and it just behooves me, really. I just can't comprehend. Smart, educated people just can't wrap their brains around this ignorance and stupidity. But I like to address this, and we shall take this step by step. So I am going to play this video. I'll go straight to the point. First of all, I want to talk about Agenda 23. O'Shea, have you read the African Union's Agenda 23? 63, sorry. Have you read it? Let me see if I can go in the chat. You have not. Okay. I advise that you go read that. We can do a show on this. Okay, cool. That would be a very good show to do, O'Shea. Agenda 23. Okay, we shall go through the entire African Union's Agenda 2063. Okay, and Pan Africanism is a prime focus of Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063 does not exist without Pan Africanism. Okay, so when people spew uneducated rhetoric on YouTube about the African Union, okay, it's so appalling. It's absurd. Okay, it just further proves how stupid people are. Okay, how uneducated people are, how unread, unlearned people are. Okay, they just run with the narratives they hear and they just run away with it. Okay, and you know, for some people, okay, on YouTube, it's all about making money. Okay, but for some of us, okay, it's about educating, you know, the masses, especially Africans and African Americans. Okay, people of African descent. Okay, all over the world. Okay, the goal is bigger than your individual, you know, perspective, your individual stance. Okay, it's grand. The vision is so big. Okay, so I'm trying not to use any foul language really, because this is going to be very educated for the young people to learn something from. So now I wanted to talk to you guys about the Agenda 2063, but I'll quickly go to that, and I'll read a few things from the Agenda 2063. Okay, so the Agenda 2063, okay, is the heads of states and governments of the African Union adopted Agenda 2063 at the 24th Ordinary Assembly held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So it says from the 30th to the 31st of January 2015. Okay, this is when the Agenda 2063 was adopted. Okay, but before that, all right, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1960, okay, had his draft for this agenda. Okay, it was just reiterated in 2015. Okay, and put in a proper context. But the vision for of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1960 was to unite people of African descent globally. Okay, to unite the entire continent of Africa, okay, into one single unit, one single nation. Okay, hence he started the Organization of African Unity. Okay, by himself first, and with the help of Haile Selassie, Emperor Haile Selassie. Okay, together they formed the Organization of African Unity. But Kwame Nkrumah was taken out of office. There was a coup d'etat, okay, to take him out of office, and his vision went down the drain. But it's been revitalized, okay, it's been revived, okay, and the Agenda 2063 was adopted on the 31st of January 2015. Okay, so I'm going to read the scope. Okay, I'm going to read what it is. Okay, And okay, so what is Agenda 2063? Okay, it is a strategic framework for the socio-economic transformation of the continent over the next 50 years. It builds on and seeks to accelerate the implementation of past and existing continental initiatives for growth and sustainable development. Okay, some of the past and current initiatives it builds on includes the Lagos Plan of Action, the Abuja Treaty, the Minimum Integration Program, the Program for Infrastructural Development in Africa (PIDA), the Comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program, the New Partnership for Africa's Development (NEPAD), regional plans and programs, national plans. It also built on national, regional, continental best practices in its formulation. Okay, this is what essentially is Agenda 2063, and the vision, the guiding vision for Agenda 2063 is the guiding vision for Agenda 2063 is the AU vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in international arena. Okay, so it goes on to say the foundations, the following are the foundations for Agenda 2063: the Constitutive Act of the African Union, the African Union Vision, the 8 priority areas of the AU 50th Anniversary Solemn Declaration, African Aspirations for 2063, regional and continental frameworks, member states' national plans. Okay, so it goes on further to say the African Aspirations for 2063. Okay, the 7 African aspirations were derived through a consultative process with the African citizenry. These are a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development, an integrated continent politically united based on ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of Africa's Renaissance. Okay, an Africa of good governance, democracy, respect for human rights, okay, justice, and the rule of law. Okay, these are the aspirations of, okay, the AU for the 2063 agenda. Okay, what makes Agenda 2063 different from the past continental initiatives? Okay, I'll skip that one. Okay, I'll skip that one. I'll read partnership. Okay, so since this video is about the relationship between Africans and African Americans, okay, and Africans throughout the diaspora, okay, a resource, financing and partnership. Okay, so this is where the AU is planning to get resources from. Okay, a resource mobilization strategy developed has identified key areas of intervention and their associated funding options. Next steps will be taken to operationalize the financing strategies, instruments identified, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's also communication strategy, capacity, the key Agenda 23 documents, okay, which I will go into it and read a little bit of. Okay. So resource mobilization strategy, a draft documentation has been produced and it is going through refinement. Okay. Outcomes of the July International Conference on Financing and Development Implementation arrangements will be put in place as soon as it is finalized. So it's still not finalized yet. Okay. So we still about 30 years away from this. Okay. So I'm going into the article itself. Okay, Agenda 2063. All right. This is what it is. Agenda 2063. Okay. So I'm going to read the vision for Agenda 2063. Ah, come on. So it starts off on, it's about 24 pages to read, okay? 24 pages to read. It starts off with the voices of the African people. So I'll read a little bit of that, okay? So we, the people of Africa and her diaspora, say this article, the Agenda 2063, begins with people of Africa and her diaspora, okay? United in diversity, young and old, men and women, girls and boys from all walks of life, deeply conscious of history, okay, express our deep appreciation to all generations of Pan-Africanists, okay, in particular to the founders of organizations of African unity for having bequeathed, okay, us as an Africa with exemplary success in fight against slavery, okay, colonialism and apartheid. Agenda 2063 rooted in Pan-Africanism, okay. Agenda 2063 rooted in Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance provides a robust framework for addressing past injustices and the realization of the 21st century as African century, okay. So this is the first line, the echoes of the African people. So if what you've heard, okay, from anybody, okay, about how Africans feel about African Americans, okay, whatever they say don't matter, okay. Whatever they say, they're not the voice of the people of Africa, okay, the educated people of Africa. Whatever rhetoric, okay, comes out of uneducated people, okay, does not represent the voices of the educated people in Africa, okay, those that know their history, those that know the agenda, okay, those that know the focus of the African unity, okay, those that know the plans that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I can't ping this, the plans that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had, okay, the intentions of the Organization of African Unity, okay, those people that spew rhetoric, okay, the vitriol, okay, are mainly coming from uneducated Africans. It's so plain and simple to see. Okay, so before anybody talks nonsense about Africa and African people, okay, please take your time and read the Africa Union's Agenda 2063. Okay, take your time to read it. Read the PDF. It's a 24 pages book, very easy to read, very easy to comprehend. Okay, take your time to read that and educate yourself. Okay, so I'll read the second echo, okay, the second voices point on the voices of the African people. We echo the Pan-African. So the second line also speaks about Pan-Africanism, okay, which is aiming at uniting everyone of African descent throughout the diaspora. Okay, we echo the Pan-African call that Africa must unite in order to realize its renaissance. Okay, present generations are confident that the destiny of Africa is in their hands and that they must act now to shape the future they want. Okay. 50 years after the first 33 independent African states took a landmark decision to form the Organization of African Unity, we are looking ahead towards the next 50 years. Okay, so the next point 3, in this new noble initiative, past plans and commitments have been revived, and we pledge to take into account lessons from them as we implement Agenda 2063. These include mobilization of people and their ownership of continental programs. At the core, the principle of self-reliance and Africa financing its own development, the importance of capable, inclusive, and accountable states and institutions at all levels and in all spheres, the critical role of regional economic communities as building blocks for continental unity, okay, taking into account the special challenges faced by both island and landlocked states, and holding ourselves and our government and institutions accountable for results. So Agenda 2063 will not happen spontaneously. It will require conscious and deliberate efforts to nurture a transformative leadership that will drive the agenda and defend Africa's interest. Okay. And the fourth point was rededicate ourselves to the enduring Pan-African vision of an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa, driven by its own citizens and representing a dynamic force in international arena. Okay. Good morning, my sister. Know your own worth. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me. I am so heated up. Okay, I am so heated up about the ignorance going on YouTube. This is what I've taken upon myself. To educate the family. Especially continental Africans and African Americans. When I say African Americans, this includes the Caribbeans, the South America, okay, and Canada, okay, Afro-Europeans, okay, Africans in Europe, Africans all over, okay, the diaspora. So I am just going through the Agenda 2063, okay, and trying to read the most important parts of it, okay. And the most important part of it, right from the get-go, okay, it's talking about Pan-Africanism. The Agenda 2063 will not exist without the entire, inclusion of everybody that is of African descent, okay, which is coined, Pan-Africanism. Okay, this is the vision for those intelligent people, okay, that have come up with the AU, okay, starting from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, okay, who realized this vision in 1960. All right, thank you. Okay, you better concentrate on your work. But yeah, thanks for listening. Okay, I know a lot of you are now starting your day in the United States. Okay, those on the East Coast, it's 6 a.m. I think, and your day has just started. Those in Europe, you about midday. Okay, and in Australia, it's 9:51 p.m. Okay, so it's almost bedtime for us as well. So going through the points, okay, for the Agenda 2063, I mean, it's very clear that everybody of African descent, okay, is included. There's nobody of African descent that is excluded from Agenda 2063. And the grand vision of the Organization of African Unity and the African Union, okay. I don't care what you've heard. I don't care what people have told you. I don't care what people have said, okay. Go read the Agenda 2063 for yourself, understanding for yourself as an educated person. All right, before you spew any form of rhetoric. All right, so the aspirations for the Africa we want, okay? A prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development. An integrated continent, politically united, based on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of Africa's Renaissance. I think I went through this before, okay? I went through this before, but I think I'll read point 7. Africa as a strong, united, resilient, and influential global player and partner. So this is aiming towards African supremacy. Okay, we cannot have supremacy unless we unite. Okay, this is a whole agenda of the AU. We need to unite into one single unit, okay, for the sole purpose of supremacy and development into the future. This is what it is. Okay, F what you've heard. I don't care what you've heard. Okay, be an educated person, have an educated argument about this topic. All right, so it's almost 30 minutes. I most importantly, I really wanted to address this Agenda 2063, okay, before I get into this topic, which really bothers me. In 2018, almost 2019, Africans are still divided, okay, are still unclear, are still uneducated, and have no vision, okay. And we need to squash that. We need to really, destroy that misconception, and educate ourselves, because the key is education. And when we educate ourselves, okay, then we really know where we can what we can improve on in our lives to aspire for greater heights and greater development in regards to Africa. All right. So the PDF is not lengthy at all. It's only 24 pages. You can spend time and read that. But I'm gonna skip to the bottom part of it, which really struck me. Okay, and another one. We aspire that by 2063, Africa shall be united, have world-class integrative infrastructure that crisscrosses the continent. Okay, so the entire continent is going to be developed, okay, under the Agenda 2063. Okay, this is what intelligent people do. They plan ahead. All right, and it's coming. It's coming. Okay, have dynamic and mutual beneficial links with the diaspora. Okay, it is stated here, black and white. Okay, black and white. Okay, if the camera can focus that, it is stated here, black and white. All right, black and white, up here. So another aspiration of the Agenda 2063 is Africa shall be a continent of seamless borders, okay, and management of cross-border resources through dialogue. All right, that is just plain to understand, plain to see what the agenda is. Okay, it goes on and on and on, and it's a very, 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 very interesting read. Okay. Okay, and it also talks about democratic values, cultures, practices, Universal principles of human rights, gender equality, justice, and rule of law are entrenched in the Agenda 2063. Okay, so I don't care what you've heard somewhere else. Okay, go read the Agenda 2063 for yourself. Corruption, okay, corruption and impunity will be a thing of the past. Okay, I mean, this is really deep. So Africa will be a peaceful and secure continent with harmony among communities starting at grassroots levels. Okay, so basically starting from tribal levels, okay, clan levels, family levels. This is what it means. Okay, the management of our diversity will be a source of wealth, harmony, and social economic transformation rather than a source of conflict. Okay, so this is plain to see. So again, human rights is spread throughout this agenda. Okay, I'll skip to the very last point. Okay. So it says the Assembly of the African Union, okay, the Pan-African vision and project which guided struggles of the African people and their descendants against slavery, colonialism, apartheid, and racial discrimination. The commitment of the founders of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, to self-determination, integration, solidarity, and unity, on which today forms the backdrop of Africa's renaissance, transformation, and integration. Okay, so again, there you go. So lessons from the global development experiences. Also talks about hunger and disease, gender equality, climate change. Okay, which of you have heard of the Green Wall project? Okay, basically Green Belt project. Basically, it's a tree planting project stretching from the far western coast of Africa, stretching across through the Sahara to the Horn of Africa. Okay, is a green belt to prevent desertification, to prevent the advancement of the Sahara. Okay, but this is nature. Okay, it's always been, Africa has been transforming. This is nothing new in the history of the world. The Sahara was once a lush environment. Okay, giraffes and elephants and lions and all sorts of life, okay, lived in North Africa. Okay, when humanity started from East Africa, okay, they went into North Africa first, or more so around Chad, okay, before they split into all regions of Africa. Okay, this is history. This is natural history. Okay, 20,000 years ago, hell, 10,000 years ago, even 5,000 years ago, okay, there was still greenery in the Sahara. Okay, you can see the history of Lake, what's this? Lake Chad. Okay, Lake Chad has been reducing in size due to climate change and desertification, but Lake Chad was a massive lake. Okay, just about 50 years ago, Lake Chad was a huge lake, but it's diminished to about 1/3 of its actual size in just 50 years. So you can see how fast climate change has been going. Okay, it's been going, but things will change. The world will transform, itself again. In people saying the ice are melting, global warming and all that. Okay, when the ice melts, okay, you know what is going to happen? There's going to be more rainfall. It's going to be detrimental to the West because all of our cities are on the coast. Okay, but this is not going to affect. This is rather going to help Africa. This is rather going to help the world in terms of rainfall. Okay, so what the world needs to do is to to build sustainable, living. Okay, not to depend our existence on coastal areas, because all these places are going to flood. Okay, all these places are going to flood. Melbourne is only 30 meters above sea level. Okay, some places are 10. Where I live is 11 meters above sea level. I think 23, but a little bit further down to the beach is just 11 meters above sea level. So when the sea level rises, okay, in the next 100 years, okay, the coastline of Melbourne will be lost. But anyway, I digress. Okay, I'll go back to my agenda. I'm very passionate about climate change. Okay, I'm very passionate about the earth, and I want the earth, to go back to its natural form. Okay, because we humans are destroying the earth. Okay, so there's this point that I wanted to get to before I move on to the topic of the day, actually. If I can find it. So towards the end of the article, it said, our journey towards Africa 2063 has started. So basically, that's the end of the article, but I'm gonna read my final point. It says the critical enablers for Africa's transformation. Okay, the critical enablers for Africa's transformation. Okay, people's ownership and mobilization, African resources to finance its development, accountable leadership and responsive institutions. Okay. Capable and democratic developmental states and institutions, changed attitudes and minds. Okay, I'll read this. Okay, to rekindle and strengthen Pan-African values of self-reliance, solidarity, hard work, and collective prosperity, and build on African successes, experiences, and best practices to forge the African model of development and transformation. Peace, brother Holip. Thanks for joining the show. Yeah, I did a show with JPV, and I gave a shout out to the BAIO. Okay, I give a shout out to the BAIO. Okay, this is what I think you spoke about this on your show, one of your shows, brother Holip. Yeah, the Agenda 2063. Okay, yeah, you're welcome. You spoke about this before. Okay. So I'm just going through this, okay, for the uneducated, okay, people spewing rhetoric on YouTube, okay, and before this thing spreads through YouTube as a wildfire, okay, I want us to squash this, okay, and you are a better person, okay, you are better equipped than I am, brother Holip, to speak on this topic, okay, and to address Phil of the Advice Show. I haven't played his video. I've just started listening to his commentary, but I decided to go through the commentary live, and then we shall address it. Okay. So, bro, it's trending thing again. Notoriety, fame. Okay, so brother Charles Irby, okay, Africans, you guys are making irrelevant lady very revealing, okay, revealant, okay. I noticed the grapevine constantly speaks on Black American fake beef. Okay. This was one single continental African woman. Am I right? That's right. I doubt she even lives in Africa. I think she's even put on an accent, okay, to I think this is just this is just drama, okay? This is just fake news, all right? But intelligent people know that it is 2018, okay? It is 2018, almost 2019, okay? This thing is old, okay? This topic is old, where the beef between African Americans and continental Africans, this thing is old, okay? Since 19, 1960, okay, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah laid down the blueprint, okay, for United Africa, including the diaspora, okay, including the diaspora. So what people are going about talking about, I mean, I just don't understand it. Okay, it's so ignorant. It just further proves how uneducated people are. Okay, I am educated. I am a mechanical engineer, but I know these things. Okay, I know these things. I did not study social economics apart from my little knowledge on social studies back in primary school, high school. Okay, and I still know this. I'm smart enough to know that the agenda for Africa is still alive. Okay, it's still alive. So I'll read my last take on this agenda 2063, the critical enablers for Africa's transformation. Okay, page number 24. Okay, African resource. No, not that one. Change attitudes. Okay, I read that one. Pan-African perspective. Okay, so through solidarity, integration, implementation of our programs, and pooled sovereignty on critical issues of continental and global dimensions. Okay, so I mean, right from the get-go, the Agenda 2063 includes everybody of African descent. All right, it includes everybody of African descent. So I don't care what what people talk about, what these Congolese women is saying. To me, it sounds very, very uneducated. Okay, and I don't take this for face value. I don't encourage anyone to do so. Okay, I rather encourage everyone to know what the agenda for of Africa Union is, what Kwame Nkrumah's vision was and is. Okay. All right. So I will go straight. I'll now go on to the videos, and then we shall address it. Okay. So before I go on, I want to say that when I was younger, okay, I acted like a child. Okay. Now that I'm older, I act like an adult. Okay. I cannot revert. I cannot go back to being a child. Okay. I exhibit growth in all aspects of my life. Okay. And I encourage everyone to grow. Okay. Don't remain stagnant. Okay. Change your life, change your situation. Okay. Improve your awareness. Learn something new. Okay. Before you die. Leave a legacy. Okay. This is growth in all its entirety. Okay. This is what growth is. You can't be the same person 2 years ago. You can't be the same person a year ago. Heck, you can't be the same person yesterday. Every day you should aspire to be something new and something greater than your former. All right, so these people are beating a dead horse, bringing up old redundant topics. That Africans hate African Americans, African Americans hate Africans. I mean, there are over 5,000 African Americans living in Ghana alone. Living in Ghana alone. Okay, go on YouTube and type in RJ Mahdi from Senegal. Okay, he lives in Senegal. He's married a Senegalese woman. He's having a good time. He has his own business in Senegal. Okay, he's always calling out for African Americans to return home. Okay, this is nothing new. But if you choose to be so ignorant, okay, it's so detrimental to the unity and the aspirations of the African Union. Okay, and everybody else that is looking forward to a united Africa. Okay, so I'll go now to the video and then we shall address it. Okay, we shall address it. We should have some fun here. All right. So first of all, I'll go to redirecting. Okay. Now redirecting is a YouTube channel. Okay, that talks about mainly is inspired by Hebrew by the Hebrew Israelites sect or doctrine, okay, which is very redundant in 2018. Okay, the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is redundant. Okay, you mean in 2018 you're still waiting for Jesus to drop down from the sky, okay, to tell you that actually you can catch a flight and go have a good time in Ghana, okay, and not be subjected to the violence in America. Okay, in Australia, I'll tell you what, in Australia, one of the best things that ever happened to Australia was this prime minister called John Howard. Okay, reforming the gun laws in Australia, taking away the guns from ordinary citizens. Okay, it was a program for guns for cash. Okay, you bring in your guns and you get paid for it. Okay, so people that own guns voluntarily brought guns for cash. Okay, this is what America needs to do: buy the guns from the citizens. Okay, pay them money for it. Okay, money that they can use to feed themselves or do something productive other than having weapons at home. Okay, on the shelf, which little kids can grab and shoot their parents with. Okay, it's bizarre. Okay, so the transformation here in Australia is that the government has taken away the guns of the people. Okay, there is like huge scrutiny. There's serious scrutiny before you get a weapon, and ordinary people don't carry guns. There's no need for people to carry guns. Our police are very effective. Okay, everything is really, really effective here. We don't need guns. The civilians don't need guns. Okay, we live. Everyone is so peaceful. Okay, everyone's so peaceful here. All right. So, if you want to escape the violence in America, okay, catch a flight. Come to Australia. Okay, I promote Australia. Okay, come to Australia. Come live in Australia. Do business. Okay, go build Africa. Okay, go build businesses in Africa. Employ people. Employ black. Okay, employ your fellow Africans. Okay. So the Hebrew Israelite doctrine in 2018 is redundant. Okay, it is redundant. You can't tell me that over 2,000 years now, you're still waiting for Jesus to drop from the skies. Okay, to pave a way in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, the most aggressive ocean. Okay, on this planet, for Jesus to pave a way in the Atlantic Ocean, for you to march through the Atlantic Ocean back to Africa, and then march your way through Africa into a desert area called Israel, which is also part of Africa, by the way. Okay, just recently, Israel wants to join the African Union because Palestine is already part of the African Union, but Israel is not, based on the policies. Because of the policies, Israel is not. But Israel wants to be part of the African Union, rightfully so, because they are Africans. Okay, and this is how we build. We need to actually give them a chance. I would say no. I would say no. Okay, I'll be adamant of Israel joining the African Union, but I would also look at the possibility that if we gave Israel a chance, okay, how can we work with Israel? We cannot work with people that are outsiders. Okay, it's not going to be that effective. Before the Jewish state was allocated in Palestine, okay, Uganda was first considered. So can you imagine the Jewish state, okay, the Zionist Jewish state was established in Uganda? Can you imagine that? Or even Madagascar. It was gonna be Madagascar. Can you envision that? Can you think of that as a possibility? So I mean, so we are gonna address this Hebrew Israelites. Okay, they. I will address it. I watched the entire video, but I would play it and then we shall address it. Okay, so here we go. Come on, play.
Think that it's a good idea to lump everyone into the same category, but you can see from this video that I'm about to share with you.
I'm gonna restart this, okay? So
I'm going to be sharing a very, very important and interesting video with you. Thanks to the brother who sent this to us or who shared the video with us. I think it's very important that we take a look at this and understand the mindset of many of those who live in Africa.
Please let me know if you.
In no way do I believe this is the mindset of
hear
all
the video
Africans.
clearly, okay?
Okay.
Please let me know.
I don't think that it's a good idea to lump everyone into the same category, but you can see from this video that I'm about to share with you that many of them have this attitude. We've seen that type of attitude coming at us with this whole year of return. And this is what the video was about. She's talking about the year of return. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the clip, and I will be right back with my commentary.
So I'm going to talk today about do Africans really need African American to build Africa? My answer is no.
Okay, so whatever point she makes, okay, I'm going to address it. All right, so she says, the first question was, does Africa require African Americans to help Africa develop? Okay, and she's saying no, but then she contradicts herself. Okay, she contradicts herself. See, the Agenda 2063 includes everyone of African descent. So whether you're African American, wherever you are, okay, you are included in the development of Africa. So what it means is that we are winning. It takes these attacks to as a positive sign if we weren't winning. Okay, thanks, brother Holip. Okay, we are winning. Okay, we are facing friction because we are going ahead, and this is what it is. Okay, we are climbing to the top, and all the friction we're getting, okay, is because we're going higher. All right, thanks for that point, brother Holip. Okay, so
you are not really a pure African. You are a person.
So she's saying that you are really not a pure African person. Okay, if you know the history of the Congo, okay, you will know that the French have been there. Okay, the people from Belgium have been there. Okay, the rape that has gone through Congo. Okay, I've seen some very, 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 very light-skinned Congolese. Okay, very, very, very light-skinned, and I think there was when I went to the Jamaican festival. Okay, I saw so many Africans. There were so many. My grandfather is part German. Okay, my grandfather is part German, African American. Okay, and I'm really, really dark, very, very, very dark, and there are continental Africans lighter than me. Okay, lighter than me. Okay, so this rhetoric is it's just crazy. Okay, it's just crazy. There's nobody that is pure. There's nobody that is pure in Africa. Okay, and it just takes education, a little Google search will give you some answers. Okay. All right, we are all mixed. Nobody is pure. Okay, and the Congo itself. Okay, the Congo has been the most raped region in Africa. So you can't tell me that the white man's blood is not running through Congolese. Now that's a lie. That's a lie, right? That's a lie. I've seen some really, really light-skinned Congolese, okay, lighter than, like, way, way lighter than me, okay, and I'm not even light at all. I'm really dark, okay, and I'm like a third, generation, mixed person, so.
That was born because of chattel slavery, people that were put together by force. And African built Africa from the beginning of time till now, it's still building African. And then also you have the Chinese, the Asian build Africa and contributing to African regeneration. So is the thing that African American and Black in the American continent are going to do too, contributing to the rebirth of Africa, but they are not the one in Africa, because Africa was built by Africans and is still being built by Africans, and we let.
So she's saying that Africa is going to be built by Africans. Of course, nobody's going to do this. Brother Doug, I haven't seen you in a while. I've been thinking of you lately, brother. I have been thinking of you. I didn't know how to contact you, but yeah, please, I've got my Instagram rolling now, so you can subscribe to my Instagram, okay? And yeah, you can always send me emails, all right? Okay, so this woman, okay, is contradicting herself, okay? She's saying that Africa needs to be built by Africans, okay? It is plain and simple, okay? Nobody is going to do this. Right. You've been busy. I understand, brother Doug. I understand. Okay. Nobody's going to build Africa for us, okay, without a catch, okay? Nobody's going to do it for us without wanting something back. There's nothing for free, okay? Nothing is for free. So it is paramount that Africans build Africa for themselves and by themselves. And the people of Africa, okay, includes the people in the diaspora. It includes African Americans, it includes Afro-Europeans, it includes anybody of my hue, my skin tone, okay? That is of African descent. Okay, anybody Black that identifies himself as African, okay, you are African, and you are entirely what the Agenda 2063 is referring to, okay, to come and rebuild Africa, all right? So this woman is contradicting herself. She seems very uneducated, and that's the very least I could say about her, okay? So I'm not gonna attack her personal looks or whatever. I am an intellectual person, and I only attack your intellectual capabilities. All right. So for the purpose of education, okay, or educating.
It's Asians, Europeans, Americans to help us to do that. So when you say, "Oh, China is doing that," yeah, they are doing it. What is the problem? It's gonna be for my benefit and for your benefit too. I still agree that they have a lot of things.
So she's saying that the Chinese or the Europeans are helping build Africa, blah blah blah. Okay, and she's basically saying Africa does not need you. But then again, she's saying that the development going on in Africa, right? The development going on in Africa is going to benefit her. It's going to benefit all Africans, and also going to benefit African Americans. So what is she saying? What is she talking about? Okay, in one breath, she includes African Americans, she includes Africans of the diaspora, and then in another breath, she's saying that these people are not included. This is just stupidity, really. It's complete ignorance, all right?
Nobody complain about Asian or Chinese. Well, it's Asian, China. Asian, Chinese. Oh my God. About Asians in general, no, being in Africa.
I have very good ears for accents, so she confused Asian with Chinese. Okay, so when it got to that part, she said Asians and Chinese, but she, you know, corrected that and said Asians, I mean Chinese are part of the Asians. So basically, she just wanted to say Asians. All right. So because in Africa, it's not only the Chinese in there. There are Japanese in there. There are Singaporeans. Okay, just I think a few weeks back, Ghana invited Mr. Tai Kerr. Okay, the man that designed Singapore. Okay, the master architect that designed Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. Okay, to come and replan Accra, the capital of Ghana. Okay, to replan Accra, the capital of Ghana. So you see, there are Filipinos in Ghana, you know, or in Africa, the Chinese. Okay, the Thai people. Okay, there are Indians. Okay, there are Pakistanis. Okay, the Pakistani government is in Ghana. Okay, the Lebanese government is in Africa. Okay, I mean throughout Asia. Okay, the government, the Japanese are there. Okay, before the Chinese started coming to Africa, the Japanese were already there. All right, so we move on.
Or making businesses. Why? Because they have the degrees that African we don't have yet. Not every or one of us have degrees.
Okay, so this is another uneducated rhetoric. Okay, there are a ton of Africans living in the diaspora. Okay, people of direct African descent. Okay, like myself. Okay, coming directly from Ghana. I was born in Ghana. Okay, I am a mechanical engineer. Okay, and I hold a degree in mechanical engineering. Okay, and I have done 2 years of civil engineering. Okay, these degrees are the right time. I can go back to Africa. Okay, and apply it. Okay, towards the development of Africa. Okay. So this woman is, whatever she's saying is so stupid and redundant. All right. So we will continue. There are even very educated, like Obadele Kamban, Dr. Obadele Kamban. Okay, he got his doctorate degree in the University of Ghana. Okay, and he lives in Ghana and he's impacting, okay, Ghanaians. All right, so this woman is just being silly, really.
Now, from the 1960s, we are going mostly abroad to study and to have our certificates, university degrees, and then to come back to Africa and start. In my country, most of the people that are building or rebuilding my country are from my own tribe and my own family. So if I go to my country, most of the people there working in the government are from my own family. My family, you can find the rich one and the poorest one. And I don't mind none of them because they are me. African American, you think that you're the saviors of Africa? No. The 2019 thing.
Okay, so basically what she's talking about now is I think she's getting her information from African Americans that are spewing rhetoric towards Africans. So the whole thing is going back and forth between the uneducated people on YouTube. So it is only these kind of rhetoric only exist between the uneducated people. Okay, we educated people. Okay, people of the BAIO know the agenda. Okay, we know what it is. Okay, we don't have these discussions. We don't talk like this. Okay, we don't talk like this. Okay, we don't. So this thing is coming from a very uneducated person. Okay, trust me.
That you are welcome to Africa. How long Africans are telling that you are welcome in Africa to do the same thing. Excuse me, I think some of you are very naive, or most of you are very naive there. Because it's the same thing, that you're gonna have a little bit more easier to do the visa thing. What is that? What is contributing? How many African Americans or Black Americans in the whole continent are living in Africa? And what? And what you see? Are you seeing that African Americans or Black Americans in general are the African ones? Mm-mm. Only the native ones. I'm a continental Africa, no matter where I live or where I was.
So she's making a point here that there are a lot of African Americans in Africa, and Ghana, which I know very well. Okay, I know there are over 5,000 African Americans living in Ghana. Okay, you know, Professor James Smalls has a business in Ghana. Jesse Jackson was there. You know, and a whole lot. Okay, W.D. Du Bois died in Ghana. All right. Now, Kwame Nkrumah. Okay, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana was an inspiration to MLK. If you didn't know that. Okay, MLK's rise could be attributed to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Okay, so Kwame Nkrumah inspired a whole lot of people. All right. So her point is that there are a lot of African Americans living in Africa and in particularly in Ghana. But her point is, what are these African Americans doing in Africa? So this is what I spoke about. I spoke on extensively as well, that Africa does not need you to come to Africa empty-handed. Okay, you need to be skilled. Okay, to go to Africa. Don't go to Africa and you're gonna go live in a mud hut and add to the poverty of Africa. No, Africa doesn't need that. Okay, I said this myself as well. Your goal from your aim from the diaspora going to Africa is to go build. Okay, go build and fuel the agenda 2063. Okay, Africa is calling on you to go back. Okay, and build Africa. All right, and it's happening. It's gonna happen with or without you. So you better be on the side of the win. You better be on the winning side. Okay. So I'll let her speak.
Go, because I have my tribe, my country, and they know who I am. So
I mean, again, she's talking about. She's mixing a lot of points. She's saying that basically she's saying African Americans don't know who they are. Which I could say a whole lot of them don't know. Okay, but it takes you to know yourself first. Okay, even there are people in Africa who don't know who they are. Okay, they are lacking in education, lacking in so many things, and the poverty in everything. Okay, so yeah, brother, hold you back. Okay, so the poverty exists not only in terms of finances. Okay, it exists in education and the quality of life as well. Okay, so this woman is saying, basically saying that the African Americans don't know themselves, but I can tell you that people of the BAIO, okay, know themselves. Knowing yourself is not about knowing what your tribe is or knowing this and that. Okay, it's knowing who you are as an individual and knowing your purpose in life. Okay, that is all it's about. Okay, tribalism can go to hell. Okay, for all I care. Okay, you can have two rival football soccer supporters. Okay, and that's also tribalism in my perspective. Okay, so whatever this woman is talking about is really, really uneducated. All right, it's a very uneducated argument saying that African Americans don't know themselves. Okay, those who don't know themselves are uneducated. All right, you have to know yourself first. Don't know. She also means they don't know which part of Africa they come from. But look, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Go to Africa, adopt a country. Okay, make it your home, and you are part of that country. Okay, being an African American, essentially you are the essence of the entire Africa. Okay, you are the right person, okay, to come in and take your place in a united Africa. Okay, because your genes are an accumulation of all the people groups of Africa. Like my genetics, I did my DNA test. Okay, I am 60% North African Berber Moroccan. Okay, Algerian Mozambique. Okay, part Egyptian in there as well. I'm part Senegalese. Okay, I am about 40%. You know, from Rwanda. I wouldn't say 40%, but much of it is from Rwanda. Okay, so close to about 40%. So I'll say about 38% is for Rwanda. Okay, these are the two main ethnic groups that I come from in Africa: the Berber, North Africa, Morocco, and Rwanda, Tutsi. Okay, but scattered in there, okay, there are Senegambia. Okay, there is Mozambique. There is Angola. Okay, there is Somalia. Okay, this is me. All right. So I am a prime example of an African American. Okay, and being a Pan Africanist. Okay, embracing the entire Africa. Okay, because it is your home. Everybody in Africa is related to you. Okay, so it is your right to return home and to claim your position in Africa. So whatever this woman is saying is very, very uneducated. Okay, so yeah, excuse her.
All of you that came back to Africa after the slavery, like American Liberians and others, that these are city things, you're still being seen like outsiders. You're still being seen not as.
So the history of the American Liberians. Okay, the American Liberians. The Native Africans never saw the American Liberians as outsiders. Okay. Liberia existed for a long time. Okay, American Liberians coexisted with Native Africans. Okay, until the politics went, haywire. All right, that's when the conflict came. Okay, the American Liberians, okay, married into the local tribes to say by 1930, 1960, 60s, okay, there wasn't any pure American Liberian. Okay, those African Americans that moved into Liberia to stay integrated with the local people and married with them. Okay, that's why you go to Liberia, you hear names like Johnston, names like Smiths, and whatnot. Okay, these are last names. Okay, they've completely integrated with the local people. Okay, so the conflict that happened was not about the American Liberians versus the local Liberians. Okay, it was an internal conflict. Okay, it was an internal conflict due to the politics going on. Okay, so history in a nutshell. Okay, so she's saying that American Liberians saw, Native Liberians saw American Liberians as outsiders. That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. That's nowhere near the truth. Okay, that's nowhere near the truth.
Proper Africans. Your skin color
Proper
save you,
Africans.
but you cannot go and tell an African that you have to do this and that and that and that and that because you have.
So basically, she's saying that your skin color is the same as Africans, but it does not guarantee you to go to Africa and tell Africans what to do. So she's kind of like speaking out of pride as an African as well. Like some of these African Americans feel that they can just go to Africa and demand. And I think it's just an American thing. Like when Americans travel, this is from me, okay? The everywhere Americans find themselves in the world, it's not just Africa, okay? They wish that wherever they find themselves is just like America, okay? And you can see it even in the policies of the American government. They wish that the whole world embraces democracy. They wish that everything, the American way of life, is embraced by everybody else in the world. Okay, but not everyone wants that. Okay, not everyone wants that. And so she's basically saying that she's speaking to those African Americans who feel authorized when they go to Africa to go and demand certain things in Africa, okay? Like unification doesn't work that way. Unification doesn't work that way. We need to all work together. We need to meet on a common ground, okay? So she does have some truth there, but her points are mixed up.
Your colonizer mindset. Yeah, Africans also are very, very, very colonized, but you cannot tell.
So she spoke about the mindset, okay, and I read the mindset of the African Union and the Agenda 2063, okay. So we need to change our mindsets, okay. So basically, she's pointed that out that she's not saying that we need to change it, but she's coming in an offensive with an offensive approach. But I would say that the mindset that we have, or the uneducated people have, need to change, okay, for the positive.
And then that's what they have to do, because we Africans, we don't like that. And that was independence came. You can come here, you can help us to say yes to this.
No, independence didn't come because Africans don't like that. Okay, so what the point she made there was so baseless. Okay, she went on talking about the American Liberians, and then she's talking about we don't like that mindset, and that's why independence came. Independence didn't come, woman. Okay, intelligent people fought for independence. Okay, you can't have independence from from another African nation. Like you can't have that. All right, it is an integrated African continent. You can't have independence from another African country. All right. So no African country is colonizing another African country. All right. So the American Liberians did not get independence from. I mean, the native Liberians did not get independence from the American Liberians. Okay. At the time of the American Liberian conflict, okay, the American Liberians have fully integrated with the native people. All right. Okay, we move on.
It's good for you, or things like that, but don't try to push us to do your things the way you want us to do. The 2019 thing, remember, is the same as they said beforehand, and it's still happening, that you are still being seen as foreigners. You're always going to be foreigners. Only they want your contribution. Because when you come to Africa, when you exchange the money, I'm going to take an example because I don't know the rates. You have $20,000, and then you go to Africa. The conversion is going to be, depending on the country you are. If you are in Central Africa, that could be like 7 or 10 million cifras. A lot of money. It's a lot of money to build things. That's why they want you there, to just and contribute. But you still being seen as outsider. You can see how many of you are still being as outsider. Yes, you black, you skin, whatever. But when you say where you come from, or you try to say things, they're going to see what you are in reality. So now, African, we don't need you to build Africa. We need your contribution.
So Africa, we don't need you. So this is the topic. Okay, Africa, we don't need you to build Africa. We need your contribution. Like this is nonsensical. Okay, this is just so stupid. All right, isn't it? This is so stupid. If you are contributing, okay, then you are required to build Africa. So I mean, this is basically not intelligent. Okay, so whatever she's saying is not intelligent. If you are contributing financially, whichever way you are contributing intellectually, okay, you are helping Africa build. Okay, Africa needs everyone to contribute. All right, so if you can contribute financially, hey, good on you. If you can contribute with labor, okay, your with your energy, okay, if you can teach, okay, if it's not just about money, okay, it's not just about money, it's also about how you can mobilize people, okay, if you have people skills. All right, this is all it's about. If you have knowledge to educate people, this is what it's about. It's not about just money. Okay, so this woman is talking from a stance of complete utter ignorance. All right.
Any other outsider is there living upon there for centuries to build Africa. No, because we need you to build Africa. We are building Africa. And then we are asking you your contribution to help a little bit more for our continent to be built. Not because you're black, but
So basically, this woman is being rhetoric, and that's not the agenda for the African Union. So
this is going to be no, because your ancestors were kidnapped. So long time, excuse me, we were telling you. Yeah? And also, if we did not sell your ancestors, you couldn't exist. And you could never be part of Africa ever in your life. And really, you are not an African. Talking.
okay, all right. So if we did not sell your ancestors, okay, this is what she's saying. If we did not sell your ancestors, you will never be an African. Like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Okay. Oh my God. The fact still remains that African Americans are descended from Africa. Okay, she can't get around that. So basically, she's not very intelligent. All right. And the lie that you can see so many videos, educated videos on YouTube. Okay, there's one particular video that I watched of I think a brother from the Caribbean, a Jamaican, dispelling the myth that Africans sold Africans sold Africans, or Africans sold African Americans. I mean, there's so much study done on it. I mean, where's the proof? Europe made huge amount of wealth from slavery. Where is the benefit for Africans from selling African Americans? Where is the benefit? Where did show me where an African made money from selling an African American, or selling another African into slavery? Show me where the money is. You can go to Africa and show me where the mansion is. Okay. Show me where the mansion and the slave plantations are in Africa. So there's no evidence. There's no receipt. There's no receipt for these Africans sold African Americans. There's no receipt for it other than the Bible. You can only find this redundant rhetoric in the Bible. All right. So it's not a valid receipt that African Americans, Africans sold African Americans or other Africans into slavery. A little bit of education will tell you that this was monopoly. All right, this was monopoly.
Genetically, yes, yeah. But talking as an African born there, you could never exist in Africa. without slavery. So a person that was kidnapped from Congo.
So you can never exist in Africa, apart from slavery. I mean, that didn't really make sense. That didn't make sense at all. Basically, you wouldn't be called an African American if it wasn't for slavery. Like, that term wouldn't even exist if Africans didn't leave Africa into America. And mind you, not everybody was sold as a slave. Not every African or African American descended from slaves. There were Africans that voluntarily migrated to the United States. Okay, there were Africans already living in the United States. Okay, the west coast of Africa. Okay, the west coast of Africa. Okay, the ocean is known to the people, the fishermen there. They've always traversed the ocean back and forth. Okay, trading with Native Americans. They've always done that. Okay, that's why when you look at the DNA of African Americans, okay, some of us have Native American, blood. Like, I do have Asian in my DNA, but it's not specific. But obviously, it is Native American because the native people called Native Americans are Mongoloids. Okay, they're Mongoloids. All right, there's nothing else than what it is. Okay, so not every African American descended from slaves. We move on.
Or they was kidnapped from Kenya, or they was kidnapped from Nigeria, or they from Senegambia. They put every of them together. They didn't know even each other. So you think that you could exist in Africa really and having non-African brothers that you are mixed race? And I'm gonna tell that again. You are mixed race. You are a black mixed race person. You are not.
Okay, so she's saying that that she's gone around in circles. Okay, she's saying that African Americans are black mixed race persons. Okay. If you did a little bit of biology, okay, you would know that nobody is pure. The original people of Africa, okay, are the Twa, okay, the Twa people or the pygmy in the rainforest, and they are 4 feet tall. They are 4 feet tall. The other indigenous person to Africa are the Khoisans, or the Khoikhoi of the Kalahari Desert. Okay, these two tribes, okay, are the primitive indigenous people of Africa. Everybody else, okay, the Bantu people, the people in the Congo, the West Africans, the North Africans, the East Africans, all were part of the back migration into Africa. Okay, these people back migrated into Africa, okay, and mixed with the Khoi and the Twa people. So there's nothing like a pure race African. There's nothing of that sort. Okay, going back 150,000 years ago, there was a natural disaster that struck the whole globe, and there was only a group of Africans that existed, and they lived on seashells. Shellfishes. Okay, in the southern Cape of South Africa. Okay, they were the only surviving people or humans on Earth. Okay, through those people, everybody else populated the globe. Okay, so what is this woman talking about? This woman is talking about what this woman is talking about is coming from an uneducated stance. Okay.
Original African. So, excuse me, so only we need your contribution, whatever they say that now, or you say that you were black because of this, because we are genetically the mother of every person. My ancestor thanks to that. And approve, again, I'm gonna tell, I like to tell that, yeah? You are not really a pure African.
Yeah.
You are a person that was born because of chattel slavery, people that were put together by force. And we were born, and they said that you come from Africa, but also your origin are from non-Africa. So, but because you look like us. You're gonna be seen always as an African or African descendant. But me, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I know what you are, and I know what black skin means to the world, and I know that's why you are being treated the way you're being treated. That's it. So we don't need African America to be Africa because
So basically, she's saying that you are only an African because you identify with the struggle. You are only you are only an African because you have the black. Well, we're not really black anyway. Okay, we're different shades of brown, depending on the geographic location. Okay, if you are from the equatorial belt, okay, you have a very dark skin. Okay, and it's only the abundance of melanin, which is to protect your skin against the harmful UV rays. Okay, upon living in that equatorial belt. Okay, which is also the most viable, point on Earth for life. Okay, so you gotta have that protection of your skin. Okay, to live in that equatorial belt. Okay, so basically she's saying that African Americans have the same skin tone. Yes. So in other words, if a cat has kittens in an oven, they are no longer cats. Yeah. So basically, yeah. Yeah. Sadly, brother Holip, she's really stupid, to say the least. Okay. To say the least. Okay. She's very uneducated. All right. So she's basically calling African Americans biscuits, butter biscuits. Oh my, that is so sad. All right, it's really sad to spew ignorance on YouTube for the whole world to see how ignorant you are. So I'll go on.
It's already built, and it's being built by many people. What we need is your contribution. So don't get fooled because somebody from the African Union telling you, yes, come in 2019, you are welcome. They are telling us long time ago, excuse me, and you are still believing that we need you. So, my dears, remember history. Yeah? You could not be here, African Americans or black in the American continent, without slavery. And
so yeah, we touched on that. African Americans wouldn't have existed in America if it wasn't for slavery. Thanks, brother Holip. I mean, this is a topic. If you want to address it, please go for it. All right. Destroy her for me, okay? Destroy her for me. Yeah, like I said before, you are better equipped than I am. Okay, you are better, well spoken than I am, and please address this for us, please. I am. Thank you. I'm trying. I am trying. Okay, I am trying. I just can afford to sit back and I've only been very active on YouTube for the past only for 4 months now, so I'm still learning on the way. I am still learning my communicative skills, trying to perform better. But yeah, I'm getting there. So yeah, please, this woman needs to sit down, basically.
without the mixing between different genetic markers. So that's why we are not the same race. It's true, we are human race, yes, because every human person came from Africa. But if we talk about race, we are different races genetically. But with
Oh boy. We are all one human race, but when we talk about race, genetically we are different races. Okay, like I am mind blown. Okay, I am mind blown. Okay, this is just stupidity. Okay, you don't make sense, woman. You don't make sense. All right, you don't make sense.
to this vessel because of the people that are more stronger in our genes. That's it. So We don't need African, American.
Like, do you know, family, that measles killed measles nearly wiped out the Native Americans? Did you know that? Okay, Europeans brought measles. Okay, measles devastated the native Australians. The Europeans brought measles. Okay, measles devastated Africans, native continental Africans. Measles devastated them, and likewise, malaria devastated Europeans. That's why they cannot back in time they cannot live in places like Ghana. They wanted to live there because of the gold and the natural resources. They wanted to live there, but the malaria drove them out. Okay, but they're living there as well. They brought measles and rats and all these infestations, and these devastated the population of Africa as well. Something that a lot of people don't talk about, but the diseases that the Europeans brought to Africa, okay, devastated the African population. Okay, so this woman saying that basically she's saying that Africans are genetically stronger, but it doesn't mean that your immune system is stronger. It doesn't mean anything. It basically doesn't mean anything, really. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. So if you are genetically stronger and the European comes with measles and it's killing you, then I mean, what are you? Seriously, you're not made of iron.
To build Africa, we need only your contribution. Come to Africa to contribute, but don't think that we need you, because Africa is already established by tribes, by caste, and also, the ones living there for centuries, they don't want to see you also as African. They want to see themselves more African than you are.
Okay, so she made a very significant point there. She's saying that uh, African Americans, hey brother Lim, salute. Okay, she made a point that Africans don't need African Americans there. They only need their contribution. Okay, but there are over 5,000 African Americans already living in Ghana that I am very aware of. Okay, my grandfather is African American, my father is African American, and my grandfather died in Ghana. Okay, all right. I have family still in the United States. I mean, this argument is redundant. This is old. It's not getting old. It is old. Okay, and it is mainly coming from the very uneducated people, like this woman here, and the people that react to this with emotions and not on intellectual grounds can all be lumped in the same boat as this woman here, because it's pure ignorance and stupidity. Right. So what was my point before?
So, if you want to come to Africa, come with a nice heart. Come as
So
humble
if you
as
want
you
to come to
can.
Africa, come with a nice heart. Okay, so basically she's receiving a lot of
never try to say-
vitriol from African Americans, so she's just responding. So basically the ignorance is on both sides, okay? And like I said before, this vitriol only exists amongst the uneducated people. Okay, you don't find this in the BAIO. Color Genesis does not talk like this. All right, Color Genesis doesn't, allude to anything of this sort. All right, so Brother Holly doesn't talk like this. I mean, so basically, it's uneducated.
to an African what it is and what it knows, because you don't know what you are when we know what we are. So come and contribute.
So basically, she's concluding by saying African Americans don't know who they are, but Africans know who they are. I mean, that's not really true. That's not really true. You can go to Africa and ask an African that, like a very uneducated African, you ask him, who are you? Like, that African will basically tell you to, just go away, because for him, all he's thinking about is his daily bread. He just want to get food and feed his family. So when you bring this uneducated arguments to an African, you are gonna basically get an uneducated response, and particularly you are gonna get an uneducated response from this woman. Give us your money, but don't involve yourself in our country. Yeah, basically that's what she's saying. Okay, and she sounds like a scammer. She sounds like a scammer. Okay, she does not speak on behalf of the governments, the African government. She does not speak on on behalf of any intelligent African person. Okay, so you can obviously, if she lives in Africa, basically that's what she's been doing. She's been scamming people. All right, and yeah. So coming back to me, she's saying that the white people living in Africa see themselves more African than an African American. Okay, partly this is true. Okay, because there are proud white Africans. Okay, there are white people that were born in Ghana. Okay, they have been living in Ghana for over 500 years, longer than they've been living in Americas. Okay, before Europeans went to America, they were already living in Africa. All right. So there, O'Shea went to Kenya, and he was surprised that a white woman was taking his money, and he was asking where is she from, and she's like, "Oh, I'm from here. I'm African." And O'Shea got agitated. You know, like to these people, they're proud Africans. Like there is a big community. I wonder if she has the same demands on the Chinese. I doubt she does. You see, this is what's going on because there's a lot of rhetoric. Okay, educated people don't talk like this. There is a few. There's only a few educated African Americans or Africans that are loud enough. Okay, like Brother Holip, how big is your platform? Okay, but then you go on a very, uneducated platform, and they've got over 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers. But then when it comes to like intelligent conversations on nationhood for productivity, okay, you don't get this kind of views. Okay, you don't. So the uneducated are the biggest microphone. There you go. I get you, brother. There you go. So it is what it is, brother. It is what it is. And the Hebrew Israelites, this redirecting has over 105,000 subscribers. 105,000, and then imagine how many people are not subscribed to that channel but take information from this channel. Like it just behooves me completely that this rhetoric is being spewed by the uneducated with a huge platform and a big megaphone. Okay, so this is why we need to support educated platforms. BAIO, everyone needs to go subscribe to the BAIO and support it. Okay, because we need to support inspirational minds, great thinkers. Okay, and this is the only way. So BAIOAfricstan.org. Okay, this is the website you need to join. Okay, all right. So, and you can see the agenda. The agenda is clear. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, land, infrastructure, and nationhood. Okay, this is the agenda of the BAIO. All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, brother Holip. So, yeah. We shall conclude with this woman, and then we'll go on a commentary of Sister Deborah, who is a staunch Hebrew Israelite. Okay, thank you. And yeah, she wanted to address this on a neutral ground without bias, but towards the end of the video, she became biased as well. So, see, this exists on both ends. Okay, both ends of the Atlantic. Okay, and people who rely solely on the Bible as proof of anything. Okay, let me tell you, Hebrew Israelites, okay, your Bible, the King James 1611 Bible, was not written until the Europeans went to Africa. The Germans translated the Bible into the native African language. The voodoo, okay, part of the reason why they don't talk about this in the mainstream media, okay, Kingdom of Dahomey, okay, Kingdom of Dahomey, all right, my battery is going. Kingdom of Dahomey, okay, the voodoo came from voodoo. Voodoo only means deep spirituality. That's what it means. And there's another word, which was derived from voodoo. It's called vundo, which just means well. Okay, and where you find well is water. You find water in a well. Okay, and well, this I'm talking about the Ewe language. Okay, the Ewe language. These are people between the Volta region of Ghana. Okay, my lighting just messed up there. The Volta region of Ghana. Okay, and the Volta region of Ghana and Nigeria, or including Nigeria. Okay, these people have a language that is one of the oldest languages in the world. Okay, and the Germans extensively, okay, studied this language. The Germans extensively studied this language. I'm trying to plug in my iPad here. So they know the real meaning. Okay, the Germans. That's why you go on YouTube. You can find videos on why the Germans actually wanted to exterminate the Jews, because they realized they were fake Jews. The Germans found out who the real Jews were. Okay, this is where the Hebrew Israelites run off with the Judah land and slave codes and whatnot. This is the Kingdom of Dahomey. Okay, their language goes back 100,000 years. Okay, and your water has the same pronunciation as your heart. Okay, it's called chi. Okay, and you can find the same word in Chinese. It's called chi. That's why you have Tai Chi. Okay, so all right, brother Doug, thanks for joining us. Okay, you catch up later. All right, this language can find reference in Japanese and in Chinese. Okay, one of the oldest civilizations. Okay, in Japan, okay, you have the Edo period. You come to Benin State, you have the Edo as well. Okay, there are the Ewe language. There are names like Tanaka, Kotoka, Asami. All these names exist in Japan as well. So extensively, you can see where this language is coming from. All right, so the Germans studied these people, and one of the because the British had an agenda. The British and the French had an agenda. Okay, of I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but they had an agenda to conquer the world and rule the world, and it was a Zionist agenda. Okay, promoted by the British and the French. Okay, and the Germans were there to bring things into proper perspective. So you can view the war between Germany and Britain and France in that aspect as well. Okay, in 1600, okay, before the Bible was written, okay, the Germans were already in Africa, like 200 years, 200 years before the 1611 King James Version was written. Okay, so the transliteration, okay, from the African language into the German language, into the German and into the English language is what you have right now. I'm trying to plug in my iPad. Is what you have right now. So I'm gonna let you listen to Sister Deborah. Okay. Okay. Hebrew religion stems right out of Kingdom of Dahomey. Okay. The voodoo, when you read through Genesis, everything in Genesis is about voodoo. Basically, it's about the Kingdom of Dahomey. In the Kingdom of Dahomey, okay, there are people that migrated into the Kingdom of Dahomey. It didn't exist like forever. All the people in the Kingdom of Dahomey migrated from ancient Egypt, from East Africa. They migrated from the land of Canaan. Okay, this is the Kingdom of Dahomey. Okay, people, the voodoo, okay, existed a long time ago. Okay, so this is another example of the back to Africa migration. Even people in West Africa, okay, they migrated from other parts of the world. The people, when you look at the history of the Ewe language, okay, they migrated from an island called Mu, which existed in the Pacific Islands. I mean, Pacific Ocean. Okay, that island is sunken at the moment. Okay, these people walked through Asia to get to where they are at the moment. Like I stated before, the only native people in Africa are the Khoisans and the Pygmies. Okay, and the Twa. So if you want to say the indigenous people of Africa, they are the indigenous people of Africa, and everybody else migrated back into Africa. All right, so I'm trying to get my lighting sorted. All right, give me a sec, family. All right, so my lighting is back, and we shall continue.
That's it. This is what Africa needs. Only what Africa needs is your contribution to rebuild some things in Africa, because Africa is already built. Come and do business, but never try to force natives to do things as American Liberian tried. Yeah, because
so don't come to Africa and force African Americans should not come to Africa. Brother, hold it. This is one of your topics, okay? Don't come to Africa and force Africans to do things, just like the Americo-Liberians tried to do in Liberia. Like, that concept is not true. That concept is not true, okay? Because by the first civil war in Liberia, okay, the Americo-Liberians have fully assimilated, have fully integrated, okay, have fully mixed with the native population. Okay, you have the native population in the Americo-Liberian parliament. I mean, whatever government. Okay, the chiefs married. I mean, to solidify the Americo-Liberians' ground or purpose in Liberia. Okay, marriage was promoted. Contrary to popular beliefs, okay, marriage between local women, okay, and Americo-Liberians was promoted. Okay, so the civil war that existed in Liberia, as in 1945, okay, Liberia had a very big economy, one of the biggest economies in the world. Okay, most productive. You know, they were very heavy in producing cash crops. You know, like tobacco and whatnot. Okay, so the internal conflict is what brought Liberia down. It wasn't because of the Americo-Liberians. It wasn't because of that. Okay, that's a fallacy. Okay, that's a fantasy. So this woman's perspective on history is entirely wrong.
When I see African, say, you're my brother and sister. I said, yeah, they are your brothers and sisters. Okay. When they're gonna take your jobs, I'm gonna come. 1, 2, 3. African Americans, go back to America. Yeah, that's it. Excuse me. So many of you are so naive. I'm not that naive. I know what it is the war is about, and I know you are not African. and doesn't matter with your genes because also you are non-African. Hopefully, the 2019 is going to be good, but I don't think so. What I think is going to be the same. You go to Africa, you build, you have your visa, easily, that's it. But you're never gonna be part of the African culture. Even if you marry, oh, yeah, no, my father was an African American. Oh, so you mixed race. Uh-huh. Do you get me there?
So again, your father is an African American, you're mixed race. I spoke about this extensively. Okay, nobody is pure race. Nobody is pure race. Okay, we are all mixed. All right, even in the Congo, I said, the Congo was raped. The Congo was raped. Okay, by Europe. Okay. Oh, jeez. You think the French and the Belgique, okay, they call them Belgique, okay, the French and the Belgique, okay, just went to Congo to collect rubber, to collect cobalt and coltan? You think that's all they did? They raped the women there. Okay, they fathered so many mixed race children. Okay, in the Congo. Okay, and there are a lot of light skinned Congolese. Okay, so many mixed race Congolese in Congo. So all these people, with time, all these people have mixed with the population. Okay, there's no pure race. In 2018, find me one. All right, find me a pure race African. All right, that's the biggest bullshit ever. Okay, there's nothing like a pure race African. So, and then coming from her stance is we are all one human race. I mean, what is the racism there? I mean, why are you talking about race when we are all one human race? So, rhetoric.
Just go. What they want you is to contribute economically to Africa.
Now, as you see in the clip.
So she's finalized again by saying that it's only economically that you need to contribute to Africa, which is false, complete false. I read you the Agenda 2063. Okay, it's not all about economics. Okay, it's not about economics. Okay, it's primarily about Pan-Africanism. Okay, that is Agenda 2063. When growth comes with unity, when people are united, okay, they move in one direction. Okay, this is what it's about. It's not about money. Europe was able to do what it did because Europeans were united at the time. Okay, they were united for a common purpose. Okay, they were not driven by, it wasn't money that united them. They were united for a common purpose. Okay, so that logic is very, very wrong. So I'll let Sister Deborah, speak, and yeah.
The woman in the video, I'm going to say this again, she does not represent the voice of every African on the continent. We realize this, okay? But it's safe to say that she does represent a large number of people who probably feel the same way that she does. Every individual has their own thoughts, but if we're being honest with ourselves, we would realize that she is not the only one who feels this way. Now, the things that stuck out to me the most was the fact that she said,
yes, it's only the uneducated African Americans and Africans that feel this way. Okay. People, the BAIO don't feel this way. There are Africans, part of the BAIO, that don't feel this way. So again, it all comes down to the level of education and the awareness. All right.
Said basically, African Americans, we don't need you all. She said this with her own mouth. She says, we are not the same. You are not racially pure. She says they are pure. You all wouldn't exist if we didn't sell you into slavery. This is what she said. She said, because you exist because of the mixing with the slave master. She said, you are genetically different because of the mixing. You are mixed people, okay? Now, these are the words, very, in my opinion, very venomous, okay? Very uninviting. By the way,
Sister Deborah, this cannot be venomous because you claim to be very educated, or you seem to be very educated, and you have 105,000 followers. How can this be venomous? Because this is false. Her statements are false. Her stance is pure ignorance and stupidity and lack of education. So why would you take this seriously? Why would you perpetuate the stereotype that this is venomous? This is not venomous. This is comedy. This is
she is, I believe they said she's from the Congo. Okay, so these words are very sharp, very uninviting. And she's saying, you can send your money, but we don't need you to build Africa. We have the Chinese. We have all these other groups of people that are helping us to build Africa. We don't need Africa.
So, was it O'Shea you asked the question, or I think Brother Holub asked the question that I wonder if she has the same demands on the Chinese. Do they stay out of the business of the countries they invade? Okay. The countries they invest in. Okay. So, I would say that the Chinese in Africa are only there to do business. Okay, they're not there to interfere with the African government. Okay, they're only there to do business, to protect their own interests. Okay, business-wise. Okay, now they're building police stations in South Africa or whatnot because the population of Chinese have increased. Have increased. In a way, I see it as a positive thing because Africans are generally very nice people and very welcoming people, so it's very easy for foreigners to go to Africa and act the fool with no repercussions. Okay, so it is right that the Chinese has their own prison there to stamp on authority, coexisting with the African government to control these masses of Chinese people living there, because you hear a lot of the galamsey illegal mining in Ghana or Kenya or wherever where these Chinese people find themselves. They know that Africa is a land of gold and natural resources, so these people purchase land and then start digging for gold. Like here in Australia, you are not allowed to dig under 2 meters, okay, without a permit. And if you find anything under 2 meters of mineral wealth, okay, it belongs to the state, it belongs to the government. Okay, so it is the same. It is the same in Ghana. You can buy land, but you're not allowed. I think it is everywhere as well. You're not allowed to dig for minerals, so that's illegal. So these Chinese or these foreigners there are performing illegal activities. All right. So again, she doesn't know. She's not educated enough to know this. Okay.
Americans. She said, if you want to send your money, but we don't need you. We're not the same. I know you think we are the same, but we are not the same. We are genetically pure, and you African Americans are not. You are the result of the slave masters, the union with our women. Okay, now these are her words. Now understand this. We are under no illusions. We know what happened to us here, but we also know what the Bible says. And this is the problem with a lot of so-called
Okay, so she goes straight into the Bible like they always do, right? Goes straight into the Bible, which was written in 1611. Okay, 200 years after the Europeans have lived in West Africa. 200 years after the Europeans have indulged themselves in voodoo and in the traditional practices of these people of Dahomey. Okay. People of Dahomey explained it to them what the Bible is. That's why the Hebrew Israelites can say that Judah exists in Dahomey, and rightfully so. Okay. These are African traditions. These are African traditions, okay, brought into Africa, but Africans living in Northeast Africa. Okay. So 200 years after the Europeans have settled in Africa, they compiled these stories into the Bible, and these Hebrew Israelites are running away with these stories. All right. So if you educate yourself in African history, you educate yourself in the history of the world, human migration, the Bible has no place on your shelf, I would say.
Africans that have pride against us, they don't understand the Bible the way they think they do, because the scripture talks about 3 generations removed from whatever you've been whited out with or darked out with or whatever. 3 generations, and then you are still an Israelite. Okay. Not only that, he's made it clear that he is going to purify our blood when he returns. So to him,
2018, you believe that? I don't want to get too excited, but in 2018, you believe that someone's going to come down from the sky and purify your blood? Wow. 2018. A few more days to 2019, and you believe that someone is going to come down the sky and purify your blood. How about people that have already died? How are they going to purify their blood? And basically, common sense would tell you that, the earth, like America, is not separate from Africa. The whole world is just is still connected. You drain the ocean, basically you can walk from Africa to America. There's the crust is still connected. The entire globe is connected. It's only water that is separating us. So intelligent wise, okay, Hebrew Israelites have none. No intelligence whatsoever.
we are still his children. We are the tribe of Judah, whether she wants to accept it, believe it or not. The Most High has already established that he is going to purify our blood. And he also talked about how some of the other tribes, they're going to be prevented from preventing us. Okay, so she's acting and speaking very proudly, in which she probably echoes the tone or the thoughts of many so-called Africans. She talked about how the AU reached out to us and is only a monetary interest, but they are not really interested in us. I already knew that. I can tell from the tone that it was a monetary interest, because when I look at the fact...
No, Sister Deborah, you don't, because you have not read the Agenda 2063. You don't. You haven't read the Agenda 2063. Get out of that Bible and read something else. Okay, read something else to improve your intelligence. God damn. The AU's agenda is plainly outlined. Okay, you can Google this. Okay, it's in PDF format. You can read it for yourself. Okay.
That they are entertaining. I believe they said Ghana, Kenya, and Ethiopia. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they said that those 3 are entertaining giving the state of Israel a seat in the AU, right? But they are asking us to buy a seat. They want us to buy a seat, but they're wanting to give them a seat because they asked. But they said, if you want a voice in the AU, this is what it's going to cost you. Right? Now, there was some talk years ago where Haiti...
Of course. These people need to pay reparations. How else are they gonna pay reparations? Like everything needs money. Okay, the 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 OAU, the AU. Okay, even the UN. Okay, UN is heavily supported by the United States. I think the United States contributes about 70% financially towards the United Nations. Okay, if the United States pulls out of the UN, okay, the UN won't stand financially. So what are you talking about? Every member of the UN, I mean, every member of the AU contributes financially. So it is right for Israel to contribute financially, okay, if they want to join the AU, right? And this is what reparation is all about, okay? They will get their reparation. Africa will get their reparations by Israel joining the AU. But then again, Israel alone cannot control the affairs of the AU. Okay, the AU is over 55 African countries. Israel alone cannot have a single say in the AU. So, Sister Deborah, you're not being very intelligent here. Okay, I'm sorry.
Wanted a seat. And for a while, they did not allow them to have a seat. Now, I think that has changed since then. I think that has changed. But the fact that they were like, no, you can't have a seat for whatever reason, that is very, very concerning to me.
For now, whatever reason, at the time that Haiti wanted to join the AU, I don't think it was feasible for Haiti to join the AU. Okay, there were probably some political turmoils going on. It wasn't right for Haiti to join. There were so many factors, okay, that you don't know.
Interesting about some Africans, and I don't mean to sound charged up by any means. I love my people. I understand that we have bitterness between us because we also have bitterness here in the States among the tribe of Judah. This comes with the territory because it was prophesied. So please don't get me wrong if you hear the tone in my voice. I love my people. I understand that we are basically under some type of hypnotic sorcery that has gone across the world that has caused us to be divided against each other. I'm sounding this way because I need to make a point.
So hypnotic sorcery. Okay, it's called ignorance. This is what it is. The hypnotic sorcery is ignorance. Okay, educate yourself and liberate yourself. This is what it is. The sorcery you're talking about is right there in the Bible. It's right there in religion. Okay, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Okay, and then you see clearly.
People who want to rush over there because of this year of return thing.
People want to rush over there. She's talking about people who want to go to Africa. Like, there are over, like, I thought I saw about 30,000 African Americans already living on the continent. There are 5,000 African Americans, over 5,000 African Americans living in Ghana alone. And African Americans have been going back to Africa since the 60s. Okay, since the 60s. So what are you talking about, woman? What are you talking about? Doesn't your Bible tell you not to even talk? What are you saying? Your Bible that you read tells you to shut the hell up and not to speak.
Okay, I want my people to understand what they are getting into. I'm talking to the tribe of Judah. I want you to know and understand what you are getting into. That not everyone over there is willing and wanting to.
Like, who are you? Like, woman, who are you? Who are you to be authoritative? Who are you? Your religion tells you to be silent. Suffer not a woman to speak. This is what your religion tells you. So who are you telling the people of Judah, who are basically people from the Dahomey region, people from Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria? Okay, basically, this is what it is. So who are you? Okay.
to welcome us with open arms. This was indeed a bid for money. This was another, in my opinion, another channel that they were trying to open up for money. And again, I'm going to state this again, that I don't believe that this woman speaks for all Africans on the continent. But you can best believe that many of them are thinking the same thing that she's thinking. And let me tell you how I know. I spoke about this in a previous video, where there was an African guy years ago when I was a teenager who asked me to do some art for him. He saw my brother and how deeply melanated my brother is. My brother's really dark, okay? And he saw me and he told me that I am not pure. This was more than 30 years ago. He said, "You are not pure." And he looked at my brother, he said, "You are pure." He says, "You're not pure though, to me," right?
So basically she's saying because her brother is dark skinned, okay, he is pure. Her brother is dark skinned, heavily melanated, he is pure. And Sister Deborah is heavily melanated herself, but a little bit less than heavy. I mean, the dark, very dark, say like a Sudanese type. Okay, so she is mixed. So you can see the level of, you know, education right there, right? You can see the distinction there, you know, is uneducated. How can two people of the same mother and father, one is pure and one is not pure, like just because of skin color? And then you run away with this narrative for 30 years. Over 30 years ago, you're still holding on to this.
And so I've always known that this attitude from Africans existed. I've always seen how they've treated us. I've been around Africans that have come into the States, and they clearly treat us differently than they do Europeans. They have a respect for them, but they have a disrespect for us, and they look down on us. Now, what I find interesting about that, they look up to the white man as if he is superior, right? But they look at us like we are nothing. Not all of them, but many of them look at us like we are nothing, right? So if you think the white man is superior and you're saying that we are mixed with their blood, what is your problem with us? That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. But again, this is to be understood as biblical prophecy, that we would have an evil eye one against another, and that the other tribes, why do you think in Ezekiel it talks about bringing the two sticks back together, right? It talks about that because we are divided, we are apart. This is something that was done to us a long time ago. We are apart. And so that wedge is not just a biblical wedge where it says, oh, you live in this region and they live in that region. This wedge is also a spiritual wedge. This wedge is also an ancient, contention that we've had with each other, with the other tribes. Again, I'm going to state this. I love my brothers and sisters on the continent, and it pained me. I'm just going to be honest with you, family, to hear this woman talk like this. Okay. It really pained me to hear her talk like this, because It just is yet again further proof of what we've been trying to say to our people here in the U.S., that we just can't jump at an opportunity that may not even be an opportunity.
Okay, right there, right? We cannot just jump to an opportunity that may not even be an opportunity. Like I stated, okay, African Americans have been going back to Africa since the 60s. Not even the 60s, the 1800s, okay? Before Liberia, okay, African Americans moved to Mauritania. They moved to now called Sierra Leone. African Americans moved there before that. So, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? 5,000 people already, over 5,000 people already. Simple Google search will tell you up to 5,000 African Americans live in Ghana. So what are you talking about?
May be just a bid for us to put some of our money into their economy, because what is happening with the Asians, in which she spoke very, very proudly of having them to help them. She named all of those that are helping them to build up Africa, right? She spoke of them with admiration. But
And this is another reason why African Americans, okay, need to be heavily invested in Africa, okay, because this kind of rhetoric needs to be squashed. Okay, there are African Americans already doing business in Africa. Kanye West was recently in Uganda. He's already thinking of building a theme park. Okay, Professor James Smalls has a resort in Ghana. Okay, RJ Mahdi, okay, has a business in Senegal, lives in Senegal. Grand Amin Ra in Mombasa, okay, has a business in Kenya. I mean, there are people in South Africa doing business, Angola. I mean, throughout Africa, North Africa, African Americans doing business everywhere. So, misinformation, really.
with us, it was this whole thing of, you are not like us. We are not the same. Now, I wouldn't even be a bit surprised, and I'm going to just throw this little curveball in their family. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if someone paid her to say all of these nasty things.
Yeah, I said that before, right? It's fake news. I said that initially when I started. It sounded like she's even an American putting on an accent. Okay, it's fake news. This topic is so old. It's redundant. Okay, it's abhorrent. It's old, disgusting. 2018. We shouldn't be discussing this, but here we are. All right, here we are. We need to squash this. Okay.
Because, and the reason why I'm calling them nasty things is because of the tone that she took with delivering her words.
So why would you
was
take
not a
it
thing of
seriously? Why would you take
educating,
it seriously, Sister Deborah, when you know she's been paid for it? Like this is just common sense. You don't take this seriously. You know that this is just stupid. This is just stupid. So I don't know why you are so emotional about this.
Well, technically, we are not the same because you all are mixed. And so and the way she said it was very venomous, speaking about saying that if we didn't sell you into slavery, you would not exist. She's basically saying that the physical makeup that we have is a result of the slave master mating with our women. And so
human beings do not mate. Okay, mating is for animals. Human beings do not mate, Sister Deborah. All right. So, watch your words. Okay, your choices of words. Okay.
that this particular physical makeup wouldn't exist if they never sold us.
Humans copulate.
That's one way of looking at things. Okay, that's one way of looking at things. But again, she lacks spiritual and biblical understanding, because the spirit that rests in
spiritual and biblical understanding. She lacks spiritual and biblical understanding. How about intellectual understanding? So that is not part of your lexicon. Like your intellectual. Oh my God, my brain cells are aching at the moment. My brain cells are hurting from the ignorance. So intellect doesn't come to play at all when it comes to Hebrew Israelites and these Bible worshippers. Okay, they have no ground of intelligence whatsoever. There's nothing. You cannot go have an intellectual debate or discussion with them. It's all about the Bible, only about the Bible.
each and every one of us in the tribe of Judah, whether we were here or there, it was going to be born unto this earth. And that may go over some of your head. That may go over your head. But what I'm trying to say is the spirit that is within us. I mean, this body is one thing, but the spirit that we all have in us, it would have been here whether we were on the continent or here in Africa, in America. Understand that. And so again, this woman is speaking very, very proudly against us, while at the same time having adoration for the Asians and the Europeans that are over there and the people from India.
Sister Deborah, this woman is not speaking proudly against you. Okay, you already know that this woman is being paid to do whatever she's doing. This woman is speaking from a stance of ignorance. Okay, whatever she's saying is coming from an ignorant perspective. Why are you perpetuating this stereotype? Why are you started off saying that, oh, not at all Africans are like this, but you keep perpetuating that Africans do this, Africans do that, blah blah blah. So post the link to Deborah's video. Okay, I will do that in the description box when I finish. My sister, I will do that. But Sister Deborah, I am very, very disappointed. Okay, I love your channel because I get my information from you, but then again, I always apply my intelligence to whatever information you have. So a few times you say some very interesting things, a few times you don't, especially in this video. You did not exhibit any form of intelligence whatsoever. And I am very appalled. All right, you have 105 people, 105,000 subscribers, okay? And whatever you are feeding them, I think you're just fueling, the disconnection between Africans and African Americans, okay, from your Hebrew Bible perspective or stance, okay? And I know if we take this Bible away from you, okay, you guys have no grounds. You have no grounds of reality, okay?
Great adoration for them. In so many words, she's thanking them for helping them build up Africa.
Well, what do you want her to say? Do you want her to say, what? If someone is helping you to do something, what do you say? You show gratitude. Okay, you show gratitude. That is not even a point of discussion. Okay, if someone is helping you do something, you show gratitude. Similarly, if African Americans are helping Africa build, Africans are going to show gratitude. Like, educated Africans know this. Educated Africans know this. Educated African Americans know this.
This is why I say, when I hear people say Africa is rising, how is Africa rising when the people, the African people, are not?
So Africa is rising because, Africa is gearing towards unity. Okay, the agenda 20, the AU Agenda 2063, okay, has a focus for the future. Okay, so it is right to say Africa is rising because that is the agenda of the AU. Okay, and I hope you are alive 2063 to see this for yourself. It's only 22 years down the line. Okay, 32 years down the line. Okay, I can't think right. It's really late.
There is no such thing as Africa rising if the African people are not. What is happening
Why are you saying there's no such thing as Africa rising? Africa is rising every day. You just don't know that. Africa is rising every day. Just recently I had a show with another YouTuber. Your mobile banking, okay, came out of Africa. What are you talking about? The technology for mobile banking came out of Africa. The amount of educated Africans in the West. Okay, imagine all these people decide to go back to Africa to build. So, please.
There's this takeover of Africa by outsiders.
There's no takeover of Africa by outsiders. There's no takeover. There's no takeover. Okay, nobody wants to take over Africa. Nobody wants to do that. They just want the resources, and they want it for less money. That's it. That's the prime focus. That's the prime. Nobody wants to take over Africa. All right, Africa is for Africans.
Yes, they are building up your infrastructure, but your people are still downtrodden, just like we are in the land of our captivity. And so instead of taking pot shots at us here in the diaspora, why don't we extend love to each other across the water? Why don't we extend love? And the attitude that...
It starts with you, Sister Deborah. It starts with you. Showing love across the water starts with you. So how about you start that?
Many of us are taking here is a result of how we have been talked down upon, how we have been mistreated, not just by those here in this country that come to our country to visit, but even those that get on video and talk down on us. What you are seeing is a reaction to how we have been treated, because many of us have expressed love and adoration for the people on the continent, even concern. But as she said, we don't need you. Africa doesn't need African Americans. You're not even real Africans. You're not pure. But send your money. Send your money. We'll take that, but we don't need you. Okay, family, I'm going to talk about this in another video, because there is much more that I can say, but right now I am getting prepared to broadcast with the Minister of Wellness. So I gotta go. Shalom.
Shalom, 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 Sister Deborah.
Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of
Shalom,
new
shalom, shalom. Okay. Your religion, your Hebrew Israelite religion came from the Dahomey, Kingdom of Dahomey. Thought I'll let you know that. All right. The first book of the Bible, Genesis, okay, is deeply entrenched in voodoo. Okay, it is what it is. So, like I was saying, voodoo only means deep spirituality. That's the meaning of voodoo. And another word, so it says spirituality is life, okay? Or life beyond physicality, okay? So this is voodoo, tapping into the spiritual or the non-physical world, okay? Another word synonymous with voodoo is vundo, which means well, which you draw water from, well, okay? And what's found in wells? Water, okay? Water gives life. So the essence of a well, the essence of voodoo is life. This is all it means. This is what voodoo means. Okay, so I know the meaning has been corrupt. Europeans have corrupted what it is. Hollywood has corrupted it. Miseducation. The true meaning of voodoo is gone. Dynast on Search for Uhuru has extensively documented on voodoo. So please don't stay ignorant. Educate yourself. All right. So yeah, we've dispelled this this video right here. Okay. The next one is Phil of the Advice Show. I haven't watched that in its entirety, but we will go there now and we'll watch that together. And it is about an hour worth, so I'll skip through that one so we do this quickly. So
all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this impromptu live stream. I'm not going to take much of your time because I can't stay on here very long with you guys tonight. I have other things to do, but I wanted to actually do this stream. I think it would be better to do a stream than actually do a standalone video. We got 799 of you guys here tonight. Thank you very much for doing that. Let's get to business. So real quick, those of you in the Atlanta area, we're coming December the 2nd. That is the address, as you can see there, the Atrium Event Center. Make sure to get your tickets. As you can see, it will have a VIP meet and greet from 5 to 7. Afterwards for the event from 3 to 5. So if you have not got a ticket and you missed out on the event here in Houston that's sold out, try to get to us there. Also, December the 1st, we can put this up. Come on, guys. There we go. All right, December the 1st, make sure to check out our book.
I'll go straight to the point.
In the South, so you can understand what she says. She's from the Congo, and she's making a video stating her opinions on, we've been talking about unification throughout the diaspora and connecting with Africa. We know that the white supremacists never wanted us to connect with Africa. If you remember Memorandum 46, we did a whole live stream on that. If you haven't heard it, just type in our search Memorandum 46, and we did a whole live stream. And the two main things of Memorandum 46 was the white supremacists did not want us to connect with Africa for two main reasons. Number one, they did not want us to connect with Africa due to business, because they knew if we can connect with Africa in the area of business, get a hold to access to the resources, it would change not only us here in America and our financial status, but also help change the continent as well. The second thing they really didn't want is the revolutionaries here in America, especially in that 60s time period. You had the Black Panthers, and you definitely had, the Nation of Islam, and you had just the civil rights movement.
Okay, I haven't watched this video myself, but I will watch it in my spare time. But for the purpose of not extending my video, I want to skip through to certain key points. Okay, and at your own leisure, you can go and watch Phil's video by yourself. Phil has gone to Africa, Ethiopia. Okay, he's seen what it is. Okay, he's a champion of Pan-Africanism. Okay, so I believe this brother is gonna support the movement. Okay, he knows what agenda is. Okay, so I trust that he's on code. He's on code with the agenda of the AU. Okay, he's been in the AU. He interviewed the people from the AU. Okay, so he knows he's got his boots on the ground. Okay, he knows exactly what it is. The agenda is for the AU. So he addressing this woman, I know where he's gonna go. Okay, basically, it's gonna go towards an educated stance. Okay, or perspective, unlike Sister Deborah. So you can go ahead and go to Phil of the Advice Show TV and watch the whole thing. Okay, for yourself. But I'll skip through for the purpose of not making this video lengthy. Okay.
Itself, they didn't want them to connect with Africans, because if that particular revolution touched the continent of Africa, they could have an FBI all day long over here to kill people who try to lead and try to stop movements, but the FBI can't really do nothing on the continent of Africa. There's too many Africans. So this is why they always wanted to keep us separated. And so we're going to play this video. I'm going to let her speak in her entirety. Now, the lady who, person, I don't know, who posted the video, and you're going to see it on their YouTube name on.
So Phil is going to play the video, and we're going to skip through that, okay? So I'm trying to just go forwards and skip through the entire video.
The white living there for centuries, they don't want to see you also as African. They want to see themselves more African than you are.
So rest assured that they have been vetted very well. Now, what I actually give.
Oh, yeah, no, my father was economically too.
Everyone saw that video. I was reading the comments there. I was definitely reading them and seeing what you were saying. Now, I'm going to start off by saying this. She represents herself. We have a continent that has, about 1 billion people on it. So I couldn't say this woman represents everyone, but I do want to touch on a few things that she talked about. Let's talk about immigrants coming here to America. the white supremacist would actually give her citizenship. They don't want the Julius Malemas of Africa to become citizens of the United States. Rest assured of that. They rather the Julius Malemas of Africa to stay over there. They would want someone like her, give her visa, give her citizenship, then she could slide in and get what we have fought and died for, okay, with, affirmative action and programs, everything that we fought and died for, she could slip in at the same time be team white supremacy. Understand that. They don't want the Africans that's going to really stand up and fight for what's right coming over here. So rest assured that. They have been vetted very well. Now, this particular woman, I believe that she was paid to put out this video. And the reason why I say that is because she was all over the place in what she was saying. But she don't realize that she was saying the total opposite if you listen with a third ear. Now, she mentioned, because you have to understand, African Americans on their own, based on the money we make and the money we spend, if we were a country, we'd be number 16 in the world. Think about that. We live within America, and yet just our group alone, if we was to create our own country, it'd be number 16 based on our earning and spending power. So the world knows that African Americans are about the most successful within the world as a group. We're not talking about individuals, right? So she was talking about if you come over there with $20,000 to the Congo, I did the conversion. 20,000 US dollars would get you 32.2 million Congolese francs. So yeah, that's decent money for over there, because our money go a lot longer than what it goes here in America. Trust me, it really do. Now, she mentioned that about us, saying the saviors of Africa. It's not us really saying that, anything about the saviors of Africa. We have never said that we were saviors at all. But what I have seen is that we have a knowledge by living in the belly of the beast, okay, that no one on the continent has. We have dealt with the worst of the worst. We know the white supremacists like the back of our hand. And if we teach the ways of the white supremacists and what we know, then you wouldn't have certain things going on over there. And this is why they want to keep us separate. Now, in my opinion, especially in countries that were colonized, I think in some of their situations it's kind of worse than what it is here, because, when you have the illusion that you're free, but you're not really free, if you think about it, and those on the continent know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? When you have leaders that are puppets for the white supremacists, they're living high on the hog, but the people are suffering. The people are upset. They want jobs. They want to take care of their families. And the white supremacists are just raping the resources. Now you have the Chinese coming in. They do what they want to do. Now, what she's saying about building, they're not building anything for you. They're doing things for themselves so they can make money. It's all about money to get access to the resources. I know that even when I went to Ethiopia, the Chinese is building up all kind of hotels, and they adding on to the airport in Addis Ababa that I saw. The Chinese is building, these skyscrapers. They putting them up. I see that out there. The Chinese isn't doing that for free. The Chinese want money. They want resources like everyone else is coming to the continent. I just want to put that out there. Now, no one is a friend to the African continent at all. I'm talking about these outside groups. They're not their friends. The UN go in there and steal resources, rape women. You have the French go in there, and they causing conflicts to.
So this is where I feel it's talking about the women claiming to be Africans are pure, and Africans are pure and African Americans are not. I mean, see, Phil is talking about it. Phil went to Africa, okay? The Europeans are right there. All right. right? They raped the Congo. So these Africans saying, oh, they're pure and that and that. Nah, nobody's pure. Nobody's pure. All right. This argument is, is laughable. Purity in racism, okay, is laughable in academia. Okay, intelligent people laugh at these kind of stupidity. So I'll let Phil continue.
Any leader that stand up, they want to have a coup or kill a person. Okay, we covered that how France take the money out of 14 African nations, and they have to put all their money in the bank of France. Okay, all their money, and they get to just do what they want to do with 14 African nations money. We covered that, right?
I'll go get some water.
So it's a lot of issues going on, and a lot of people on the continent are sick and tired of that crap. They're sick of it. Now, hence to there are people on the continent, believe it or not, this is why I need to cover this. Somebody say don't give her attention. No, she needs a audience for a reason, because just as much as you have shucking and jiving, self-hating people here in America who are black, they're over there too. They're in the Caribbean. They're, in the Brazil or other places that we're at, right? They're there. Some of them don't want change. We have to understand that, like, some of them don't want change here. We have black folks here that rather have the white man's foot on their neck than actually be free. They prefer it. Even during slavery, when they was released, they say, hey, you got to get off the plantations. There was actually slaves that wanted to stay with the slave master. They did not want to have freedom. Understand that. So I remember that when Dr. Mumbi told me about when a lot of Kenyans saw Black Panther and they saw the Killmonger character, right? And she told me that a lot of them were saying, is that how it would be if African Americans just all come back? They were afraid of Killmonger. And they thought that Killmonger is us, in which Killmonger is a great representation of the anger, I'm going to say, in a lot of ways that African Americans have based on the hundreds and hundreds of years of, straight white supremacist terrorism and violence upon us, murdering our families, stealing everything from us, raping, etc. Now, in this video, because whoever got her to do this video, they know your trigger points. They know a lot of you are extremely sensitive. I don't know why, but a lot of you are extremely sensitive about slavery. I'm not sensitive about slavery, or they can say all that what they want to say. History happened. It happened. If two tribes were warring, one tribe lost, okay? Let's call it what it is. Another tribe lost. The white man wanted to get those people from the opposite tribe. Yes, those from the opposite tribes sold them. Yes, they did. But they went into a freaking battle first. So it wasn't like they just say, hey, just sell them off. It happened. I talked to a Nigerian brother I know today. We talk all the time about, African history and what happened. That happened. I'm not tripping on history. I'm not. It happened. Now, it was, in my opinion, meant for us to come here for whatever reason it was meant. But we have innovated with this so-called land called America. We have innovated it. We have built this. And at the end of the day, a lot of black folks want to hold on to this. And I need to speak to those people. You do not need to hold on to this, because this is, as I stated before, the belly of the beast we lived in it. But this is Babylon. Look at all the sin and unrighteousness and evil.
I'm going to dispel a myth here, right? Phil was saying that Africans sold African Americans, okay? Now, there's this video, okay? You can look for it on YouTube. It's saying the lie that Africans sold African Americans, okay? My question is, in every business transaction there's receipt, okay? The white people have records of everything, all the slaves and that, okay? They have records. Ask any white person to show you a receipt and proof of purchase. Ask any, go to the museum and ask for a receipt of proof of purchase. There's none, okay? These people were kidnapped. There was no trade going on. There was no trade at all. Okay, there was no trade. These people were kidnapped as prisoners of war. There's no Africans did not sell African Americans or Africans into the diaspora. It never existed. It never existed. Okay, at the time of say the first people to get on the Gold Coast were the Portuguese. Okay, at the time of the Portuguese, okay, the British came later, about 100 years later. Okay, at the time of the Portuguese, okay, the Portuguese came to trade. Okay, they traded in, like, salts and, gold and ivory and whatnot. But it became problematic when the British took control of the Gold Coast. Okay, that's when slavery took a different form. So all the Ashanti, which is the predominant ethnic group there, was fighting for direct trade with the Europeans. Okay, so all these casualties of war, prisoners of war, were captured and shipped to the Americas. Okay, there was no trade going on. There was no trade between, Africans. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Because Africans value families. Okay, Africans, when you know an African, they always value family. They always sending money back to Africa. They always, this is not an African culture. Selling people for money is not an African culture. It's never embedded in African culture. Okay, so these things are manipulations. Okay, the European doesn't want to bear full responsibility of the slave trade, so they like to say Africans sold Africans, whatnot. But show me the proof that Africans sold African Americans. Like, show me the proof. There's no proof. There's no receipt. So not until anybody brings receipt, that the chiefs sign a receipt, okay, that I have sold this person for 20 pounds, and the European has bought this person for 20 pounds, an intelligent person would know that there was no business transaction. Enough said.
Evil that happens in this nation has to pay, not you, but it has to pay for what it has done. And you guys want to hold on to it. You better not have this, I'm going to hold on to this place, because you're going to cry when it is dealt with. For me, I look at myself as just a global citizen throughout the diaspora. I have no problem going wherever I need to go to connect with the people, or even if I have to move on. Hey, I do what I got to do. I'm not, like I say, because we haven't been treated as citizens. I'm going to say I was more respected as an American in Ethiopia. I'm never respected as an American here. I mean, it actually means something to be a black American outside. And everybody that tells me they've been in different countries, they say it meant something for them to say, oh, you're a black American. And they had all this, like, respect for you, right? Yeah, she getting her biscuits. But she also, like I said, acknowledged the wealth that we have. She talked about the Ghana 2019. And that's what Ghana is reaching out. That's what they want to do. It's fine. And, really, a lot of us not really trying to go to the Congo like that. I mean, I know there's a resource there, the main resource for these phones.
The Congo is beautiful, though, by the way, Brother Phil. You should visit the Congo. Not every part of the Congo is fighting, okay? Congo has vibrant city. Kinshasa is really beautiful. There's business going on in Kinshasa. I mean, it's slowly becoming one of the biggest cities, mega cities of Africa. All right, so if you want to go visit the Congo, you know where to go.
Coltan is there. Now the Chinese are there, the white folks are there. Everybody want to be there to get their part of the coltan, but the people themselves aren't benefiting off of their resources. See, they don't want us, and I'm not talking about her or people that had this attitude toward us, because some of them do, but the white supremacists don't want us, our great minds, to go over there to wake them people up there and say, no longer are you going to allow anyone to rape you for your resources. And then that spark a revolution with themselves, they take back their resources. They start learning overnight and figure out they become billionaires overnight in their own countries of their own resources. That's what the white supremacists don't want, because we're not going to go there. Those of us who know how to move, and those of us in business that want to care about the actual nations, they know we're going to do that. That's why they got to keep the African Americans separated from the continent. So they will use women like her, say things like that. They'll use the first generation people coming into this country to say little slick things to African Americans. Because they make sure to treat them different. Also, they treat those that come in from the Caribbean. They treat the Haitians is a different story, because the Haitians fought back, so they're a separate entity. They don't like the Haitians, but they'll let those come in who aren't African American, and those who coming in don't have a documented history of fighting back, standing up, or making some sort of headway in white supremacy, because we have as a people. The other groups didn't do that, at least here. Now, the Haitians, they fought off the French, and shout out to them. But here, we have made a lot of headway. So, of course, they will be more friendly to immigrants coming in that are black versus us here. They have a hatred for us here, because every day they look at us, we remind them of their sin. That's what you don't realize. Every time they look at you and me, they realize that, man, we enslaved those people. Man, we had the Klan. We still got the Klan. We hanged those people. We tar and feathered those people. We raped those people. We took away their names. We took away their languages. They know everything they've ever done by just looking at you. This is why they use the term white guilt. We can't put guilt on them. Only God above can make you feel guilty for evil that you have done. So when they use the term white guilt, it's just your mere presence bring upon white guilt, period. Your presence alone, because they refuse to atone for the sin that they have committed and continue to commit against you, right? This is why they have this hatred for you more than anything else. And the hatred and the persecution of you is going to continue, because we still have too many black folk in this country that want to hold on, that want to not care about their own. So the persecution is going to increase. The tears are going to increase for black people in this country, because it's time for you to come out from among them, and you won't come out unless you're persecuted. You do your best when the white man got his foot on your neck so tight that you can barely breathe and you feel like you're about to die. That is the way we do our best. We produce more, unfortunately. It's like you got to be forced to. When you have a little freedom, you feel like you made it, and you don't want to, have any kind of unity or liberation or anything for the people. So when it comes to this particular woman that's talking, like I said, I really believe that she was paid. For instance, if someone was to pay her $65 US, they would, hold on, let me switch it back. She would get 104,650 Congolese francs. It's a lot of money, in that country. So it doesn't, pay much to say, yeah, I'll make a video. I'll say it. Shoot. Let me get this check. Let me get this little money. And then this same woman that's talking, if her brother go over there to the Congo, she going to be choosing. She'll be the main one choosing on that brother. The main one. So don't let her fool you. Now, the thing she kept talking about, Native Africans, right? Native Africans. You're not being native because you're supposed to have natural hair. That is being extremely native. And she said in the beginning that's her favorite wig. That shows colonization, but we know the history of the Congo. King Leopold of Belgium had conquered that area. That was his area in the Congo. And he was one of the most brutal and harsh people ever on the continent. If you didn't make your quota for ivory and rubber, you get your hand chopped off. That's what he kept doing to the people. There's many pictures out there where you have African men and women with their hands chopped off. I mean, that bastard in King Leopold II was a sicko. He definitely killed more people than Adolf Hitler ever killed, but they don't talk about that at all. So that whole area was colonized. Like, once again, Ethiopia was never colonized. So a lot of them have different attitudes versus other ones who had this white influence, unfortunately, on the continent. Now, many of these nations were never free until maybe 50 to 60 years ago. So they were enslaved too. If you know the history, they were enslaved right there in Africa. They were put to hard labor right there in the continent. The British, they did all of those things to them. So, I mean, just those who want to put that out there, calling us slaves, but then using slaves on your own land. We was taken and brought to a land that we didn't know. But know your history, then you won't say things like that. But like I said, I'm not upset. It doesn't bother me. She doesn't represent all the people on the continent of Africa. People write me all the time from many African nations, Senegal, Ghana, Ethiopia, Kenya, South Africa. There's a lot of people from South Africa write me, from Zimbabwe, Rwanda, Mozambique, many countries that people write me from. And it's very positive. We talk, we converse. So that's why she doesn't bother me like that. But I wanted to show that because you do have some Africans, you do, on the continent, just as much as we have them here. That is a global thing. As long as you have white supremacy or whatever kind of supremacy, you're going to have the weak-minded and those who don't want to stand up be like this. So that's why I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit. She can fear the unification. She can fear African Americans coming back. She can be, jealous of it a little bit, and that's fine too. But maybe she should have did things ahead of time, and maybe her life would be better. I don't know. I really don't know her situation, but it's going to happen. An exodus is going to happen to the continent. And I know there's a lot of African Americans here that will say, I'll never do this, I'll never do. Trust me, the days that's coming ahead to this country, trust me, you're going to have a different tune. That's why I don't even argue with you guys with that. And you just have this love, like you can't be moved around. And trust me, but go ahead. That's fine. We got to keep pushing. We're going to continue to push. Some people, and I don't get mad at us here. Sometimes it aggravates me, but I have to understand, our identities were taken. So we want to call ourselves everything else instead of what we are genetically. We want to say we're Indians. We want to say we're this. We want to say we're that. We everything else, but the obvious. And I guess that's
everything
fine.
else
It makes
but
you
Africans.
feel better at the end of the day to say those things.
Oh,
like I say, you're a victim of white supremacy, so I can't really get too upset by that.
We're everything else but Africans.
I want to connect. I'm going to connect. That's my mission, to connect the diaspora. I'm going to push that. If you're not for that, then this is not the place for you. But she had to be called out on this a little bit. And I know she, like I said, once again, she doesn't represent everyone on the continent. I know that. I don't know why it's got a text message all of a sudden.
20 past.
Oh, Lord. My little one.
So,
but
hurry
guys,
up, Phil.
like I say, let me know a little bit. Like I say, what you thinking about that? Like I said, you mentioned her hair. Like I said, no, that's
don't talk about her hair. That's so insignificant. Like, that is so not important. Educated people, that is meaningless. What sort of hair you have, whatnot, it's meaningless. Like, this shouldn't be the topic of discussion. What hair the person has, bloody hell.
African, not at all. Well, like I said,
what do you mean the hair is not African? Do you know North Africans have straight hair? Did you know that? Okay, your hair texture is only because of your geographic location. Okay, the further you're away from the equator, okay, the stringier your hair is. Okay, your hair is tighter and kinky, more kinky because you're to protect your head from the sun, to protect your brain from overcooking. Okay, spiral hair dissipates heat quicker than stringy hair. Okay, so hair when it comes to hair, it's just not an intelligent argument, please. We can say
I
that.
know that. Like I said, if I wasn't welcome at all, right? I would have told you guys from Ethiopia, man. Those people told me what am I, the hell I'm doing there. They told, and like I said, in Ethiopia, you look like myself. I look straight West African, easy. Until I open my mouth, right? They didn't
You
tell
don't
me
look
anything. Welcome
West
home.
African, Phil. You don't look West African. You look like an African to me. Okay, you look like an African, and that's what it is.
When you go, how long you gonna stay. I hope you love it here. We love you to move here. I mean, it was nothing but positive things. That's why I like, man, I don't want to go back. That's how I felt about it because that's how positive it was. I was actually being appreciated for once in my life, um, in just being in a particular area. That's why I want all of you to experience that, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And some of you have experienced that. That's why you can't wait to go back. I hate when people keep saying that about fighting here. A lot of you not doing anything, and that's what frustrates me. I'm all about standing up. I'm that guy, but some of you you're not doing anything. Well, you said Kendra. You said about Eritrea. When I was in Ethiopia and I saw those pictures of King Johannes' family, they look like no different than black people here in America, and that's what freaked me out when I saw those pictures. I said, "Wow!" I said, "It looked like black people I know back home." And I was just tripping out. So like, man, we are the original people. I'll get with her in a minute.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you gotta charge it to the game. That's
I'll
it. You
skip
gotta charge it to
through.
the game
I think Phil is now.
and let it go.
I think Phil is now answering questions in the chat, so I'm gonna skip through the video so that I'll conclude. Um, so yeah, let's see what the comments in the chat are.
Not beef, but some little difference. I don't know. Like I say, hopefully I can get educated on it. I'll find out about it. But at the end of the day, they need to put that aside too, because the white supremacists don't care if you're East African, West African, if down south, they don't care. We all big one global Negro to them. That's first and foremost. And we are the most hated in the world. Okay, we are all hated. And if you are a person of the scriptures, you know that those who follow God and God's children will be the most hated throughout the world. No matter, especially us, no matter where we go, someone has some sort of stereotype or hatred toward us. Now, I'm not saying every person in every group hate black folks. No. But I'm saying is, for the most part, the hatred is real for us, and we haven't done nothing to nobody. Hold on, Miss.
Okay, so I think Phil has finished addressing the woman. So I'm just gonna quickly randomly skip through his video, the rest of the video, and see what else he says. Yeah.
You said I'm, if I to get connected globally, the Chinese, the Russians, the French, none of them want us to connect globally. They don't. They don't want our great minds here in America to start making moves on the continent. They don't want that. I know they don't. They think about it.
Okay, so intelligent people do not think like this. Okay, when you are someone of intelligence, okay, great intelligence or intellectual capability, okay, you can't be restricted. Okay, you're always finding ways to go around your boundaries. Okay, this is what intelligence is. Okay, so you can't be a sheep. You can't be, like there was a meme where a horse is so used to being tied up that if you even tie a horse to a chair, the horse is going to think that he's still restrained. Okay, the intelligent people always find ways a means to always improve their lives. We all need to aspire for critical thinking, for intelligence. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, don't be a sheep. Don't be like the masses. Where like, oh, the white man is holding me back. No, no, you're not in chains. Nobody's holding you back. Get your passport, relocate, move to Australia. Okay, with the American passport, you can live in Australia. Stop blaming white people. Stop blaming white supremacy, whatnot. Okay, build something for yourself, by yourself, and for your people. Okay? Nobody's holding you back. You're not in shackles and chains. So please, Phil, the narrative that white supremacy, it's a powerless structure. It's an organization of emotional people. Okay, and it doesn't go beyond that. It's just pure emotions. Okay, it doesn't go beyond that. Okay, mobilize yourselves, do something for yourself. Okay, and as an individual, nobody's holding you back from relocating from the United States. Nobody's holding you back. Relocate, move away from the United States. Move somewhere else. Better yourself, create opportunities, build businesses, employ people. Okay, it is what it is. All right.
Some of the greatest minds.
So I think Phil made his statement in the first minutes of his video. Okay. I think he made his point clear in the first lines, which he addressed the woman. So I'm not gonna keep playing the video. I'm gonna skip it right to the end and see what else it says. What it says.
The little surrounding cities around the major cities is a hop, skip, and a jump, and you know that. But you don't make an example out of anyone. They discriminate against you in stores, discriminate against you in restaurants, whatever.
Yeah, so basically, he's addressing African Americans at this point. But let's see. I'm skipping on to the last moments of his video.
Let's not, like I said, I'm sorry to go on a tangent, but let's not go there about we need to fight this because you ain't doing crap. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I got to get out of here. But thank you. Like I said, for joining us tonight, I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Subscribe. Let your friends and family know, let's say, about what we got going on here. Always remember, hit the notification button. Okay. I do random streams.
So he's advertising now. Okay, Phil is advertising now. So if you missed the point, please just go back a few minutes. Okay, you hear Phil's points of the discussion. I think he made himself very clear in the first instance. So basically, this woman seems to have been paid to do this and to keep on perpetuating the vitriol going on. So I mean, I stated before, right? This is the comment. I left a comment on Phil's video, and it's got 28 likes. Okay, this is what I said. Up to 5,000 African Americans already, okay, in capitals, okay, already live in Ghana. This topic is old and redundant. The vitriol only exists amongst the least educated, naive, and most ignorant on both sides of the Atlantic. Okay. So my grandfather, who was African American, lived the rest of his life in Ghana, where he was laid to rest. Enough said. Okay, this is the quintessential. What's the word? Quintessential part of the whole thing, that there are Africans already living in America. So these people, Hebrews, Israelites running away with the narratives, or 2019 Africans are gonna rush. No, 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 no. African Americans have always been going to Africa. They've always been going back. Okay, so this is nothing new. Okay, this is nothing new. So it is what it is again. Okay, the vitriol only exists amongst the least educated, naive, most ignorant on both sides of the Atlantic. Okay, so this is what it is. All right. So family, thank you all for joining the show. Please like it and subscribe if you're new, if you're watching this for the first time. For those of you who are going to be watching me for the first time, please like it and subscribe. I am, I go hard for Africa. I go out for the diaspora. I go out hard for anybody that looks like me. Okay, that has the identity as a descendant of Mother Africa. So please, you can share this video if you like. And yeah, my channel is growing. I've got 191 subscribers at the moment, and someone told me that if once I hit 200 subscribers, it will just take off on its own. So I'll just keep doing what I do. I love science and technology. I'm a mechanical engineer. I love history, and I love to see Africa on top. All right. So yeah, Brother Holip, thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you for contributing, and I shall catch you on the BAIO platform. Brother John Powell, thanks for joining the show. Brother Lim, who else was here? Know Your Worth, sister, thank you for joining. No So Wavy, I have never seen you before, but thanks for joining the show. I'll check you out after this live stream. Brother Doug, yeah, don't work too hard, brother. Yeah, so O'Shea, are you still there? I bet you're not. Okay, but I hope you catch this show later, and we can have a more educated discourse in the future. We can go right through. We can go through the Agenda 2063 verbatim. Word by word. We can go through that sentence by sentence if you like, if you have time. I think I'm going to be free tonight. Okay, tonight, and the following day I have the day off, so I'm going to be free, and we can have a show, and we can dispel all the myths and the misconceptions, throw them in the garbage, once and for all, and focus on the prize. The agenda is outlaid, plain and simple. So no time for deviation, no excuse, no absurdities. You know what it is. And I'd like to make an announcement. Back in the day, there used to be this brother called Brother Eli from African Arise. He is relaunching his channel. He's back. He's back, and he's relaunching his channel next week. So please go check out his channel and subscribe if you're not subscribed to his channel. He talks extensively about Africa. He's from Uganda. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel, and he's a better person that is much more knowledgeable than I am on Africa. So please subscribe to his channel and check him out. Other than that, if anyone else has a question in the chat, please ask me now before I sign out. So I'll go in the chat quickly and put in a comment. So peace. So peace and love, family, and thank you for joining Okay. In unity, okay, we stand. Divided, we fall. All right, this is what it is. Okay, so it's plain and simple. Even a simple mind can understand it. Okay, so boom, unity, in unity we stand, divided we fall. So yeah, this is what it is. Okay, apply this to your everyday life. Yeah, and get things done. All right, Africa is moving in the right direction. You know, read books. You know, I have some things that I can. You know, I made this comment on the channel and someone thought that I was a philosopher, but you know, I'm just I'm just deep in my thoughts. Okay, I said when Africa is all right, everybody will be all right. Okay, rule number one, okay, is don't ever regret what you've done. Okay, don't ever regret what you've done. Okay, and rule number two is never do things that will make you regret. Okay, so don't ever regret what you've done. Never do things that will make you regret. All right, so it's sort of like the the yin yang. You know, so practice black economics. You know, give loans to hardworking African American families or African families. Set interests at half of what the major banks are charging. You know, build credit unions or susu, encourage susu. Okay, yeah, this is how you improve yourselves financially. You know, family trust and stuff like that. Okay, so there are people that think locally, but people like us, people from the BAIO, we think globally. Okay, we think intelligent people think globally. You know, least educated, least intelligent people only think locally and think about just themselves. So basically, being selfish is no way being intelligent at all. So yeah, another thing, people play to win, but we just play for the fun of it. You know, we compete for fun, but people compete to win. So this sets the difference between us and a whole lot of people. You know, so truth always hurts, pain is gain. You know, you learn and you grow. All right, this is this is simple. This should be your scope. You know, this should be everyone's scope. You know, so do not be susceptible to social engineering, because we are not sophisticated. We need to develop sophisticated ideas. You know, so we are not susceptible to social engineering. You know, we're not constrained by whatever constraint there is. All right, so you know, China, Japan, you know, the entirety of Asia copy the European model, okay, and use it to advance themselves. So I don't see why Africans, if you see someone succeeding in doing something, go ask, how is the person doing it? Okay, go ask. How is he doing it? Okay, learn something new. Apply it to your life. Okay. Apply it to your life. This is just common sense. So we should be engaged in things that benefit everybody. Okay, things that benefit us all besides entertainment. Okay. Besides entertainment. So, you know, true wealth, true black wealth is generated when we have our own businesses, when we control our own resources. Okay, you working for a white person, you working for a business owned by a white person. That's not wealth. The money goes right back into that white community. Okay, the principle of money is money goes, money comes. So wherever the money is coming from is just gonna go back there. The money is just gonna go back there. So if you are employed and you know, basically the more you earn, the more you spend. The more you earn, the more you spend. So not until you create a business for yourself, you don't see the true value of money. You never do. All right. So I have another topic in my notes that I have created, like the application of engineering concepts for the future of Africa. Okay, or to the betterment of Africans or African Americans or Africans in the diaspora. Okay, so I'll give you a few points. Okay, planning or methodology. Okay, you need to have those. That's the first step. Okay, you need to have a plan. Okay, planning and methodology. If you do not have a plan, you don't know where you're going. All right. Okay. So you need to assess or identify any detriments in environment. So your environmental hazards. What are the hazards or what are the obstacles in the way? Okay. These are the things you need to look at. So another step is remove risks, remove any risks, or relocate hazards. So whatever hazard, whatever is preventing you from achieving whatever you wanted to achieve, how about you relocate? Okay, relocate. Okay, eliminate that's a stumbling block. Okay, change environment. All right, and perform in an environment where there's less friction. You know, so there's another point saying replace. So one of which is where whatever you're doing, if it's not working for you, and why keep doing the same thing? Why keep doing the same thing if it's not working for you? Just replace it with something else. Do something different. All right, do something different, and that's where the growth is. When you are stagnated doing the same thing and there's no improvement, your grandparents were doing the same thing, your father is doing the same thing, and you are doing the same thing, and you don't see any improvement, and you keep doing the same thing. I mean, at this stage, it's just madness. So another one is implement. So you know what that means. All right, implement techniques, new ideas, you know, to better yourself. So clean up. Okay, these are all engineering concepts. Okay, these are things that I learned through my school, my studies. Okay, so you clean up your mess, clean up yourself, give yourself a new outward appearance. Okay, and then the last point is monitor. Okay, so when you monitor whatever after you're planning, after you've assessed, after you've replaced, after you've implemented, after you've cleaned up everything, after you've cleaned up the mess, okay, now you have to monitor, okay, and keep watch. Okay, this is what separates successful people from failures, okay, or failures, people that fail, okay. Successful people are always monitoring their ways in life, their approaches in life. So risk control and calculation of costs effectiveness. Okay, all these things I can talk about in depth or in detailed analysis in another topic. So yeah, family, until then, I'll end it here. So salute to the family. Thank you so much for watching, and everyone that joined the show. Peace out. Deborah signing out. 1.